Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Get off our lawn.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. All those things. You can share it with your great aunt too, or even your great grandpa. They might be a little too old for the show, honestly. That's always been an exaggeration. I was looking at my to-do list for the weekend, and I had a vacuum cleaner where the hose had a little clog, and I wrote down clean hose. But how did I spell hose?
H-O-E-S.
Yes, I did. H-O-E-S. Clean hose.
Clean them hose.
Gotta clean them hose.
That certainly isn't cursing. I found out the new algorithm is no longer the 30 seconds no cursing. It's 7 minutes. So
is it 7 minutes?
We're going to do our best.
We haven't cursed yet.
We haven't.
Right. And right below it, of course, on the to-do list is get cream. Clean hose and then cream on this list. I don't know if you can see that. I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. But I meant hose of the vacuum cleaner.
Just doing a little gardening, actually, right?
I don't know what I was thinking. But, when you're scribbling notes, the turd in the background, my mind must have been somewhere else. Completely.
Yeah, we're fine on this one.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Straight Red Card. What a great and exciting game last night. Hudson is at the wheel. And how about the Pulisic set pieces? Best I've ever seen. My wife used her dildo to him. Well, I guess if that gets her off, she just likes really shite set pieces because they were god-awful. And actually, when I was telling people last night on Pete's show, live on the chat, on the comments, I was saying, people were like, where's Tact? And I'm like, he's at the game with 29. And people were like, quit kidding around.
The picture's up on Twitter. Him, West, 29, and somebody else.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
He posted it on Twitter before the game. Saying, hey, I'm not doing a live stream during the game. I'm going to be at the game. The game's in Orlando. Of course he's going to be at the game.
Yes. And so is 29. And then we got to see photos of Dak hanging out with McKinney and 29 and their boy Johnny Soccer, right? Like you turds. Like you turds. Like you turds. Like, comma, you turds. Needs a comma, Berlin.
Basically, Berlin was saying that he likes us and he's calling us turds.
Like you turds. I thought he's saying we were turd. But that comma will help correct that error. By the way, Berlin, we have a photo of you later in the show that we found of you online. Explains a lot. All right. So we got a lot to cover. I got a death threat.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I got my first death threat on Twitter.
I've been on Twitter a lot longer than you.
Mm-hmm.
And you come strolling in 2 months into it, and you get a death threat. I feel kind of slighted.
All for not attacking, making a criticism of Lawless. The guy's like, "Why don't you go kill yourself?"
Very mild. Yeah.
Like, kill myself? Really? Anyhow, Twitter caught him, and he got. I don't know what he got. He got something.
His account is suspended.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
You can't tell people to kill yourself on fucking Twitter, apparently.
Apparently. It's frowned upon, Derek.
Even that I hadn't thought of. But you know what? On a serious note, in a day and age where people's mental health is really on the edge, is it a good idea to walk around Twitter telling people to kill themselves? There are a lot of people who are in not stable situations. I happen to be in a stable situation. Brett happens to be in a stable situation. It's total chaos because there's 2 kids involved. But you know what? We have a good life and we're in good places. You can't go run around telling people to kill themselves because this day and age, God, who knows? You might just inspire someone to just say, that's it. I can't take anymore. I mean, seriously. So on a serious note, Don't tell people to kill themselves on Twitter. That's a really bad, and it is horribly unoriginal. I just censored myself.
Nice.
When are we? Are we 7 minutes in yet? Damn.
Oh,
All
6
right.
minutes. We're almost
All right.
there.
One more minute of not cursing.
I'll say the kill yourself meme has been around for as long as the internet's been around. And for the longest time, you used to be able to just say it. All that means is like, go fuck yourself. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, maybe that won't get caught. Dang you
just blew it.
No, we're like 6.5 minutes in. I feel like maybe
40 seconds out.
I think we made. Oh no, man! Canada's up 2-0 now. Shit, I used to.
Well, what does that mean?
They're like 15 minutes in. They're like 2-0 up.
So if Canada wins, and I predicted they would lose, so I'm already.
Yeah, I picked Canada to win.
Yeah, don't listen to me if you're betting money. Apparently, does that mean that it's Canada and who in the semi? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
So somebody was saying on Twitter that they hope Canada wins, so that Mexico and the U.S. play in the semis.
Okay, well then that's going to happen.
I don't know how that works. That's the truth.
I don't
We're
either.
play Mexico. Apparently, everybody's saying it.
It doesn't really matter. You either play them in the final or play them in the semi. The only people it matters to are CONCACAF because they're going to lose a crap load. What are we at? 750. They're going to lose a fuckload of money. Okay,
but
it's
funny. It's funny because somebody had tagged Diego and basically saying, "Hey, I hope Canada wins so that way U.S. and Mexico play in the semis so that way we have a different finals." And Diego goes, "Yeah, that way the U.S. can put me out of my misery and then I can root for the right team or something along those lines for the finals."
Well, like one of your best friends plays on the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
You rooting for the U.S. men's national team, Diego? Come on, man. No, he's not going to be on the show tonight. He has work to do in Atlanta. So just so you know, that's where he is. Not that we're planning on having him on the fucking show every goddamn time. It ain't going to happen. All right. We all got busy things to do. And by the way, not every show is going to be revolve around issues that he's going to have insight into. And the other thing I don't want people to get the wrong idea about is that every insight that we have on the U.S. national team is now going to come from 29. Because, by the way, we had a lot of stuff that we knew about before 29 showed up. All right. And now we just have another person who can give us some inside information. But that doesn't mean we're going to get it all the time. And we still have to, of course, make sure that, it's stuff that we think is relevant, but it usually is, or that, it passes the butthole sniff test. All right, Maverick says, I got banned from Twitter for a day for saying someone needs to slap Pep for subbing Erling in the Champions League stop over Red Bull Leipzig. Yeah, that's not so good.
You got a day long ban.
That's ridiculous. But then again,
Maverick, that's probably best for your mental health, though, is to stay off Twitter for a day.
I got banned from Facebook for a full day for what? What was it? Something about a duck or a turtle?
No, it was a goose. Silly goose.
Oh, I called somebody a silly goose.
No, somebody called somebody a silly goose, and then they complained that they got banned, and then you tried it, and then you got kicked off.
No, what I did was I quoted him saying, hey, to all of you on this page, which I manage, don't call anyone a silly goose. And then I got banned for telling people not. And I put silly goose in quotations. And then I wrote you and said, can you believe this fucking horse shit? I just got banned for telling people not to say, quote, silly goose. Oh, we've got new cards.
John will pull your super chat up here in just a second, but I wanted to get this in play before we get too far into this intro because a lot of these things could come up.
Yep,
you guys haven't gotten the new cards, either take a screen cap or go to our channel on Twitter.
Twiddle. I like that. We should start our own thing. Twiddle.
Yeah, twiddle.
I quit Twitter and I joined Twiddle.
Oh man, card 3 has Derek's name written all over it, man.
All right, don't want to see him. All right.
All right. We're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to start with Jimmy? Because don't you owe Jimmy a little, hey man, I told you so?
Oh, I didn't actually respond to it at all. Quite frankly, I was
I
like,
did. Did you see that? I
okay.
did.
You want to start with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me find it. Hold on, where's it?
I think it's so funny.
Good Lord.
I mean, and I said, Jimmy, I think you got a little crow to eat. He did not reply.
Oh.
I don't know why. Maybe it's that Boomer
stop
Richie
sharing.
thing. He's like, who's this fucking Boomer Richie fucker?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
All right.
I thought it came from
Hold on.
you,
Actually, before we
Rico.
do that, let me get John's super chat up.
John Kavulich, $10. Thank you, my friend. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Stable is a strong word to use in relation to Derek's mental state. I don't know if that's a joke, but it is. I am quite stable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I people don't believe me, but it's true. It's quite stable.
Well, I think it goes right in line with when you start getting super animated and people think that you're yelling, you're upset.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just
Get
having a
animated.
good time.
Yeah, hey.
If you think this is animated, you need to have come to my family meetings and get-togethers and gatherings with our German family. It was the loudest thing you've ever heard. Everybody's yelling. My aunt's yelling at my grandfather. My grandfather's yelling at my mom. My mom's yelling back at my aunt. It's just craziness. That's how they operate. And that's where I come from. We're just loud people. Loud people. All right. Thanks, John. We appreciate it.
All right.
You want to get to Jimmy now?
Let's pull Jimmy. It's a little out of order, but because I was going to bring it up with the actual show itself, because talk about Pepi, but or DK.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want to take. So we got this clip now. Have you watched the actual clip?
No, I haven't. And yet I trusted you in what you told me, and I called Jimmy out anyhow on Twitter.
Oh man. I've never seen Jimmy get so flustered about a topic. You know, he's usually megaphone, having fun, but
Yeah.
I'm fair enough. I haven't caught all of their podcasts, but I like. First off, I like seeing the side that he's getting flustered by this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun watch.
We knew coming into this the strengths of
I
Ricardo
don't think
Pepi
that Jimmy's going
and
to
the
block
strengths
us, right?
of Daryl DK.
Or hit us with a
And
strike.
I
again,
don't think so.
my point on Daryl DK is we haven't seen him yet develop at this stage and at this level, being able to get on the ball and bring people into the game.
So
now,
why don't you start him?
So you just said, why don't you start him? So first off, I want to say I agree with Charlie on this.
Me
on this
too.
front.
I'm all Charlie on this one.
So 100% all Charlie on this. So Jimmy's jumping in and says, well, why don't you start him? And we'll see what happens.
Then it's hard, as you said, it's hard in those
because why wouldn't you start Ricardo Pepi, who's proven himself, who's hungry, who hasn't been given the keys anymore? He's been out. He didn't make the World Cup team, so it's the same boat as Daryl DK. Yet he's scoring goals, and now PSV are interested in signing him. And so I'm going to go with my best striker in this.
100% agree. This is a must get result game, and I don't think that DK would have been a downgrade in the sense that we wouldn't have gotten a result. I think Pepi was the stronger choice.
If we would have played DK for 90, we wouldn't have gotten a result.
I think maybe we don't know. I mean, everybody else is sucking around him, so I mean it's not necessarily just his fault. But anyways,
no, I'm saying that, but I'm saying Pepi came in, stood out, scored goal.
Like instant.
Done.
First touch on the ball. Boop, goal.
And not only that, he made the run into open space that DK couldn't even fathom of doing, and hasn't done.
Yeah, I don't know if DK really. He needs some time to kind of figure out his role with the team, because Pepe's had time throughout qualifying and everything like that. But I don't know what it is, but it just seems like DK's game and then our attacks game just don't quite mesh up for some odd reason. Maybe they're not on the same page. I don't know.
He's a shoulder plunger. That's what he is. And that's a description of a player that sits on the shoulder of defender and never makes a run. Always just saying, I'm open if you kick it over this guy's head, of which my head is right behind his shoulder.
Yeah.
Pepi, on the other hand, deeks people. He's like, I'm on your shoulder. Oh, no, I'm not, bitch.
Bye.
I'm in open space between the two center backs, or between the center back and the right back, or the left back. That's what he brings that DK does not. DK is simply a back to goal guy and a shoulder guy. And you need more than that. That'll work with West Brom as they just cross the ball fucking day. He's going to eventually get on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's
our team can't fucking cross to save their life.
No.
Their name is Booth.
And our set pieces they're wretched. They're fucking wretched.
God,
we're
already getting into the game here.
They're like an old stinking carcass on the side of a highway. Dude, it's bad.
About halfway through the game, I'm texting Derek going, why is Reyna healthy and not even in consideration to take any of the free kicks?
I don't know.
I mean, it's still Pulisic, and then you added Zendejas into the equation.
Well, do we go
why
back?
Why do we leapfrog Reyna in this?
Do we go back to 29's comment that Berhalter was Pulisic's bitch? Is Hudson Reyna's bitch?
Knows?
I mean, Pulisic's bitch too. I mean, I don't know.
It's one of those things like he's the star, and you kind of he's like he wants to take him, or maybe he's stellar in training and then just shit in the game.
I seriously doubt that.
I don't know.
I don't know how he could be stellar in training. He showed
from a player standpoint. Why would you continue to take him after you've sucked so royally?
I mean, out of embarrassment, I would say, you know what? Fuck this. Here.
He's like,
Here, Gio, you take these.
10 straight free kicks into the wall. At the 11th one, maybe you're just then like, you want to take this one?
It's not like you're not already having the most embarrassing game you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, we'll get into this more. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, let's jump back to this real quick, though.
Look at Jimmy. Gosh.
In this case, it's Ricardo Pepi. Ricardo Pepi is a better striker at this stage right now than Daryl DK.
It's a must.
Okay, that's fine. But I mean, at what point are we going to give Daryl DK that opportunity to have a 60 minutes, start the game, work off a fresh Christian Pulisic off the start of a game? Everybody's fresh at the start of a game.
But why would he deserve that?
Damn. Charlie's just so right. I'm sorry, he is.
I mean, to Jimmy's point, we can't sit here and say, well, DK is just not ready at this point. Well, he needs to get opportunities to be at that point. Now, mind you, this would have been the wrong game. Why didn't we start him against Grenada?
And what's so wrong?
Why did we not do that?
Start him. You start him versus Grenada. You don't start him versus El Salvador.
No.
Number one. And number two, there's nothing wrong with getting 25 minutes, 20 minutes at the end of the game. That's still plenty of time to do something. And by the way, if you're coming in with 20 or 25 minutes left in the game, the defenders, by the way, are tired or more tired than they would be if he started right at the beginning when they were fresh. So actually, that gives you more opportunity. And you can almost make an argument that's what gave Pepi an advantage when he came in. The defense was pooped. And they were, when you get tired, your mind doesn't work right. And so that's why he's so easily deep, the defense, and got that through pass from McKennie, which was, by the way, the best play McKennie made almost the whole game. Charlie was a forward. He knows what's up. He does, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
sometimes.
All the time.
I'm like 50-50 with Charlie sometimes. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that I'm right all the time. I'm like 90% right.
It's the same guy who said P. Fox a worthless piece of shit, and the next show came back.
He didn't actually say that. Those words.
That's a paraphrase. And back and said, "Nah, man, I want P. Fox." What? What do you mean? You just last show? You're saying he's so good.
I'll stay with this and simply say that I'm with Charlie completely in this one. 100%. Yeah, he's 100% accurate here.
But look at Heath. He's like the Brady Bunch dude at the bottom square. He's like looking up at
that monkey gif where it's like that little stuffed monkey or whatever, and his like eyes are like looking like this.
No, he's looking up at Jimmy Square.
Oh no! I'm just saying he's down there silent. His mouth is just like, Mom and Dad are fighting again.
I don't know why Jimmy decided to fight this hard for DK. This is weird to me, but I'm sure he's got his reasons.
The lead up to this point. We'd have to go back and watch that.
I mean, maybe something's going on in private we don't know about between all of them, but it just seems he's so adamant, and what Charlie's saying is so rational. So,
Yeah, he goes, "Hey Brett, you want to? This is about you, Derek. You want to read it?"
Derek told the whole world yesterday that you procreated twice. Oh, I did say that.
Yeah,
because I don't know what comment I was even coming back at. But, yeah, I mentioned that you had sex, before in your life? Because I
At
guess
least
somebody
twice.
didn't believe that you had. I don't know.
And you
So
can't even claim that the kids are like the mailman's kids because they look identical to me.
No, they're freakishly like the two of you. It's kind of scary.
It's almost
all
like
right.
we had sex.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't artificially inseminate your wife.
With a turkey baster.
Just put it in a little tube and all right, baby, lay down. Let me squirt this in here now.
Or this took well. This even though we didn't mention the 4-letter word for what we were just talking about, that could be on one of those cards, those bingo cards.
What, cunt? Twat?
No, jizz.
Oh, jizz. Yes, you could squirt some jizz in there, like Brett kept it in the fridge.
He deserve that?
Well, he's had the same run of form for his club team, or maybe even better at the current moment than Ricardo Pepi. But Pepi gets. But let's be honest, Grenada's not good, dude. So Pepi scores twice with some defending from Grenada.
Woo!
Okay, no problem. And if DK starts the game, he might score 2 in similar situations.
But this is all might.
Of course, it's all what if. It's all what if.
But Pepi is doing it.
He almost dropped another word there. Oh my goodness.
And then DK got 20, and he did diddly dick.
We knew
in his time in there. So anyhow, that's probably enough.
Oh my goodness!
And I told you today. I said, if you don't bring Jimmy to task on this, I will, and you did. So good.
Well,
we still love Jimmy. We still love some Jimmy. So don't get us wrong.
This is more poking and prodding and having fun.
This is busting his balls. Yeah, that's all. Just busting some balls.
So after the game, though, Jimmy goes, "Still can't believe we didn't take Ricardo Pepi to the World Cup."
And then he had the fucking balls just to post that after being all pro DK for all like the whole show.
Again,
Does Jimmy not see the irony in that comment?
I can understand his point, but yeah, he was wrong on that one.
Did everyone call him out?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if anybody brought this up. Actually.
Oh, you wanted Ferrer instead of Pepi? You wanted Ferrer instead of Pepi?
Easy for you to say here, but I don't remember coming out of my mouth. I
Yeah.
don't know. But Greg Beerholder isn't the only one who brought that up. One of our other listeners brought it up. Quote tweeted this one actually. Let's see.
So everybody, go light on
there
Jimmy.
You go. No, never mind. I thought you said that. Defending the 7 to 8 spots on MLSers for lifers. So that could have been in reference to Ferrer. So I guess I may have read through.
Well, Jimmy has been pretty honest in his time that he is biased. He wants MLS players to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
He has said that. He has not hit it. He's wrong. You should not have a bias. It should just be whoever's the best player. Okay. But Jimmy has at least been honest and say, listen, I played in the league and I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
So there you go. As long as you come at us with your bias being obvious. My bingo card is terrible. Why did I pick number 2? Sorry about that, Chris.
Hey, you know what, Chris? I questioned why you picked number 2 last week or last show, and you won. You won.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we burn through the 102 fucking tabs that you have?
45,000 tabs. Yeah. So
I don't even know how he came up with this many tabs for this show. I honestly have no idea. So we'll get to it, and then we will finish by doing player ratings for the window, not just the game, the window for the players.
So speaking of Chris Gary, I think he was thinking ahead of time. Gotta get my bingo card ready to roll. So he tagged me in this, and I'm like, Lewis Casey. First off, this is the spoof account.
Must be.
Not Louis C.K. But anyways, it's funny in its own right. He goes, has its downsides. I'm like, what has its downsides? Well, Uberfax says masturbating regularly can improve focus and concentration by increasing neurotransmitters involved in learning, memory, and motivation.
That's why it was so good at work today.
Yeah. Louis Casey says, well, it has its downsides too. You get canceled. You get canceled and lose all your jobs at the point.
There is no downsides to masturbating. There are only downsides to masturbating in front of people who allowed you to masturbate in front of them because they were worried they might not get the next gig at a next comedy show. And obviously,
I know there are fans, but
he did. Yeah, he asked for approval
You have to whip it out and jerk it a bit.
And then there was the one chick on the phone who's like, "Oh, I could tell he was getting off on the phone while I was talking to him." And what did Dave Chappelle say? You ever heard of hanging up, bitch? I mean, how hard is that? Hang up.
Just walk out the door, like, oh, come on, man, come on.
Just hang up the phone if you think he's jerking off while you're talking to him. How hard is that? That stops the whatever right away. Okay, I suspect he's jerking. Boom, done.
That can't be his real account. It has to be a spoof account. You're saying this is his real account?
Is this Louis C.K.'s real account?
I don't know. I'd have to go and do some digging on that one. Either way, if it's him, that's even funnier. But if it's not him, it's still funny.
Yeah, even though it's not factually correct. It does not have downsides unless you use it in public in the wrong ways or in front of people who aren't asking for you to do it. Just, I guess, giving you permission to do it uncomfortably. All right, U.S. men's national team keyboard warrior. Would you, Brian Schroeder, at Straight Red Card, you need to step up your game so you get replies with photos like this. I am totally baffled by this.
I'll give more detail in a second. And I'm not clicking on the photo, just so you know. I already checked it out to make sure if it was safe for work, and it's not safe for work.
Would you at Brian Schroeder? What?
Wait for a second. Hold on. I'll explain.
Okay, you better, because this is baffling.
I said hopefully Brian can teach us his secrets.
Okay.
So, don't want to go too far. So, Rosie, 18 plus, says, "Would you hit that?"
And it's this nude chick.
Yeah, sort of nude.
She looks pregnant.
No. She's wearing underwear and see-through bra.
Oh, I was gonna say she got a bush. This looked like a very butch.
Yeah. So Brian's getting these. We talk about KY and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Berlin's over in the chat always posting like hashtag OnlyFans and stuff like that. We don't get anything in our comments anymore.
Mm-hmm.
See, there he is right there. OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get anything. This is wrong. Why is Brian getting these tweets?
Poor Brian. He's like, I don't want to be associated with these dickheads. I know I've been on their show a few times, but
it had nothing to do about us, though. The only keyboard warrior tagged us into it because it's funny.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I'm sure Brian's just like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why am I getting tagged in this?
No, it was his tweet that got that comment. So somebody commented on one of his tweets that I'm actually going to bring up here, which I probably could have just kept that up, quite frankly.
Does that happen a lot on Twitter? People just post half-nude photos of women? Because I haven't seen
there's a lot of nudity on Twitter. A lot of nudity.
I've seen none.
A lot of free porn available too.
I'm not that I'm asking for it. I'm not asking for it. I just have
do a couple searches. You'll find it, Derek. Trust me.
Okay. I'm not going to search for it either. Listen, if I want to see nude women,
German goo girls.
There's plenty of free stuff where I can go find it. So I don't need it on Twitter. All right. What else you got next?
Well, I guess we'll move on. Like I said, it was actually the same tweet that we were just on, but this is the one that I had pulled up for it. So, but Derek, do you hear that in the background? What is it? You hear that?
I hear ticking.
It's transfer news segment.
Oh, no.
Derek's favorite time of the show is when we
give me a fucking break. Here we go. We're nowhere near a transfer window. And we're going to talk about transfer news. And you're going to talk about motherfuckers tracking motherfuckers. And that's what I can't stand.
Yeah, this is all the transfer news. This is the hard-hitting stuff that everyone wants to hear, Derek.
No, they don't.
You got to hear this.
I'm pretty sure they don't. All right. Germany's Borussia Mönchengladbach has shown interest. Oh, my God. And FC Cincinnati's Brandon Vasquez. Listen, it's not unbelievable.
That's who?
Vasquez. Oh. I don't really give a fuck anymore. I'm going to call him whatever the fuck. I'm going to call him Brandon V.
Brando, right? Brando?
Yes, something like that. Right? Roland Verkus, the club's supporting director, attended the game at Nashville in which he scored the game-winning goal. Discussions are ongoing. Well, good to know. And I hope this is real. Could they use him? Sure they could. I mean, I guess. We'll see. It's not an easy transition, as Pepi showed us, to the Bundesliga. It just isn't. Mm-hmm. It's not as easy as it was for Pulisic and Reina, who play different positions, frankly.
But, I mean, he's got to be looking at that forward spot and saying, man, we're talking about bringing in Balogun. Pepe's firing on all cylinders. Sargent had a solid World Cup. I mean, that spot for me is dwindling. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So I got to make my jump over. I got to test myself. That's what I was thinking.
No, that's completely correct. He does. He's going to have to do more than score goals in Major League Soccer, and that's nothing against Major League Soccer. But his competition, quite frankly, our guys from like PFOC, Sargent, and Pepi, if he moves to PSV or somewhere else higher up in Holland, I mean, you're going to have to be competing. In order to compete, you're going to have to play somewhere where people are taking note. And quite frankly, he's buried there in FC Cincinnati. I mean, unless you're an FC Cincinnati fan, is that the team that you pick to watch on Apple TV?
They're playing Chicago, yes.
When they're playing Chicago, yes. That's about it, though. Berlin Amerikaner says, by the way, German Goo Girls is actually Berlin Goo Girls. So I suspected,
you're pretty close there, Berlin.
I suspected they were probably in Berlin. That was just my guess.
Oh,
I
think he's just talking about the Goo Girls being Berlin's Goo Girls.
No, I think he's saying that's where they are, where they're headquartered. I doubt they're headquartered in Schweinfurt or Erlangen.
I'm just saying that this is touching base on Berlin's.
I know where you were headed.
Coming up here very soon. We'll talk about this soon, Berlin.
We'll talk about your goo in a minute, Berlin.
We're still on transfer news.
Yes.
All right, so Brendan Vasquez is apparently heading off to Gladbach.
No, we don't know that yet.
We'll see.
All
right, next one.
Yep. Next move. Bogart. Don't Bogart that joint, my friend. You ever heard that song? Don't Bogart that joint, my friend.
Yeah, I actually have. Yes.
Yeah, I believe it was on the soundtrack of Easy Rider, which is a fantastic movie.
Bogart, right? Bogart.
It is Bogart. I got you. Same time. Yeah, Bogart.
Chris Gary goes, not enough tabs. Yeah, I know. Seriously.
I know. Lots of tabs.
It's going to be a 2-hour show, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like he bought 2 cases of tab. That used to be a drink, by the way. All right. Tom, don't Bogart my joint says, sources Fulham are among a handful of English clubs interested in Gladbach's Joe Scally. I don't know why they would be. They've got Tete, who seems to be playing really solid. Scally 20. Yeah, I just see this.
Well, maybe they know something you don't, Derek. Maybe Tete or maybe they're going to sell Jedi to Man City so that he can.
I doubt they would buy him to play left back.
But they might sell Jedi to City so that he can partner up with his. That's fine.
I don't think that's happening either. There's no way Jedi does not fit into Man City at all.
No.
That's another one of those rumors where you're just like, all right, I read it, I crumbled it up, and I threw it in the garbage. This one, I would put pretty close to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that Scally's going to be playing at Fulham anytime soon. I don't know why you'd go there. There's no point in it. What the fuck? Yeah, laughing out loud. What the fuck is this? That's Jedi floating around when the rumors were he was going to Man City.
Yeah, it was before the iceberg hit.
And that Pep really liked him a lot, which, okay.
AR has gotten so realistic.
The music is what makes it. All right, next thing, let's get out of Bogart's territory.
Oh, we're gonna stay in the Bogart territory.
No, we're not.
So this is about Miles.
Contract up in the winter. Has had a 4-year contract offer on the table from Atlanta, but hasn't signed. Why would he sign a
for the rest of your life there? Apparently,
nah, he doesn't need to stay at Atlanta anymore. It's just
he's gonna be like what? Is he 25 or something like that?
It's
another 4 years puts him completely out of European contention at that point. He at 29, he will not get another contract in Europe.
No, he won't. So he needs to leave now, and he will. The question is where. It could be like a newly promoted team. in the Premier League. It could be a replacement for CCV at Celtic. It could be Germany. We don't know, but he's not staying in Atlanta. Unless he's totally out of his mind or he gets injured again, which could happen, by the way.
Ruganaga says that he's 26. So that would put him at 30, which puts him even further away from going to Europe.
He needs to go now.
It's time to go.
Yes.
And he knows it. He knows it because a 4-year contract from Atlanta has been offered. And he's able to pre-sign as of this summer, as of July or 1st, I think is what it is. Yeah. And he's able to pre-sign with somebody in Europe. So I guarantee you he's looking at this going, this is my opportunity to go to Europe, not have to be held down by a potential bidding spree, and see if Atlanta is going to reject it. So he's absolutely going to take this shot.
All right. I'm not waxing my willy here. I am shaking. I'm shaking up my old Smoky. That's what I call him. That's my nickname for him, my old Smoky. All right, what else?
Well, because it's your favorite segment, we will go ahead and bow out of the transfer market here, and and then jump right into another one of your favorite segments is when we talk about MLS Next Pro.
Why, Brett?
Because
why are we talking about
this?
The little boys league.
So this got brought to my attention because somebody, and I don't have the tweet. I could probably dive in to my likes and find it again, or maybe I emailed it to myself. But somebody had said, "I hope they do this in MLS because it would do what in MLS? It would kill. Like it would drive the Euro snobs nuts.
Do what in MLS?
Change the point system for wins, loss, and draws, Derek.
To what?
Right here, read that point system.
Clubs will receive 3 points for a win. That's fine.
Sure.
At least 1 point for a tie and 0 points for a loss. That's the way it is now.
Keep going.
Any match that ends in a draw in normal time will go to a shootout using kicks. Oh, fuck this. Just
keep reading. No. Everybody needs to see this.
Kicks from the penalty mark to determine the winner. KFPM. What's that stand
from
for?
The penalty mark. I don't know why they if that is that acronym that's really necessary. I don't know.
I thought it stood for kangaroos fucking pretty men. Hey. All right, to determine
freaking Aussies, I swear.
I don't know, just weird shit. Both teams will receive 1 point for the tie, and the team winning the kangaroos fucking pretty men will receive an additional 1 point. That's just stupid.
So you win the PK, you get 2 points.
It's dumb.
The other team still gets 1 point.
Yeah,
and they're like, I hope that they do this. And they go. And my response to the guy was like, what? Kill them with laughter?
Yeah.
The Euro snubs are going to sit there going like, this is freaking stupid. This is another Mickey Mouse rule, which solidifies the reason why I'm not a fan of the league.
Well, it's a Mickey Mouse league. So if they want to have Mickey Mouse rules, I guess let them have it. That's all I would say, because I could give flying fucks about MLS Next Pro. None.
They're one of their favorite segments. We talk about MLS Next Pro. We talk about Transfer League.
Yeah,
if it's those two things, we're golden.
Let's just have a monopolized little league where the little boys can all play against each other. Little boys. Scattering of men in the league. Instead of having the boys playing in USL where they have to play against grown men with hair on their nuts. No, let's all go into this little boy league. It's ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing I ever heard of. And every justification I've heard for it is absolutely insane and ridiculous.
Makes no sense.
Dane Carter says, hey guys, love the show. Just wondering if you can give my mate Steve a shout out for good luck in his upcoming maths debater contest. I know what you were trying to get me to say there.
Nice.
Buddy. Cheers.
That was great.
You know what? I wish Steve really well in that math debater contest.
Hope he's a master at that maths debater.
I found over the years the best way to win those is to bring the correct lubricant.
And practice. Practice.
Lots of practice, but not too much practice the couple days before the event. You got to lay off it for a couple days, and you've got to have a good image in the head, right, going into it. Not that head, this head. because you've got to get aroused. Then you got to use the lubricant to get all.
Do you think in the maths debater contest that they allow cheat sheets?
They might, like an old Penthouse, or even better, a Cherry magazine from 1994.
Hey-o.
Might be too much Bush in 1994's Cherry magazine, though. I know the guys all like it trimmed these days.
Yeah.
Back in the days, that wasn't the case for the rest of us who were born in the 70s.
So
all the women had Bush all the way through about the, I don't know, late 80s. And then the trimmage started in the 90s. All right.
They're smooth criminals. About the point system, John says that they've been doing this. And I'm like, I was not made aware of this when looking at
why
the
would
MLS Next Pro.
Why would anybody make you aware of this, Brett? It's a meaningless kids league now.
Yeah. Derek, your range as far as MLS Next Pro, whatever, like a year ago, whenever we did this,
yes,
was more than enough to indicate that this reserve league is bullshit.
And no one watches it, and no one cares. Guess what? These kids used to play.
It.
Huh? Oh,
Pete
watches it for like 3 players. Okay.
Fair enough.
The rest of us don't watch it because we'll just listen to Pete because he'll have 3 things to say about 3 players. But honestly, this league, these kids used to play against USL teams on actual real television. Remember, we could watch Indy 11 play New York Red Bulls 2? Yeah. And the New York Red Bulls 2 had to play grown men on Indy 11. And now they're just playing a bunch of fucking hairless testicled kids from some other fucking MLS Next Pro team. It's just the dumbest thing they ever did. And they did it for selfish reasons. And because they didn't want to pay up to USL to continue to have their teams play in USL. It's all about money. Bottom line, it has nothing to do with the advancement of the young kids in MLS academies or youth systems. It's the dumbest thing they've ever done.
No.
All right. Dumb. I think I've just all over the place enough on this issue. So
it's called Soccer Says Food for the Euro snobs. Yep, true.
Hey, it's Jake. You can't call him just it's called soccer. That's not nice. Hey, Jake.
There you go. Well, Jake, what up?
What's up, Jake? All right.
Jeff says, why? Why do it? We don't know.
Basically, it's a release for yourself on a, you have to do that. I think a lot. Is he talking about masturbation or is he talking about MLS Next Pro?
MLS Next Pro. That's all.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
All right, that's okay.
All right, next topic.
We kind of bounce back and forth between topics there.
I know. I almost had to explain to him why masturbation's a necessity for some.
Yeah. So I got a video,
especially married guys. All right,
I got a video posted by the Seattle Sounders.
All right,
and it was just a monster troll. Would they play Kansas City? Is that the game that Morris got like 4 goals?
Yep.
So,
it is.
Seattle posted a nice little trolling video, and I'm like, I don't care who you are. I don't like the Sounders. I don't like their fans for the most part. They're like Ohio. They're like Ohio State for me. But
that's fun.
But I have to say, I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
This shit's funny.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Why did they start dressing up like Real Salt Lake? You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. But he's like, hey, I got 4 goals. And everybody behind this goal is like, hey, fuck off. Look at that. Giving them all the love. Well, congrats on your 4 goals. Congrats on your 4 goals, my man.
He's in Kansas City. What did he expect?
Oh, you're the best. You're the best.
And they're all yelling, we hate Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come with your Real Salt Lake outfits? What is this? Give Real Salt Lake their outfits back.
Seriously. I don't know. It's I love seeing the passion of the fans giving U.S. national team winger Morris his love and due respect for scoring 4 goals against their crap team.
I like the chick chugging the Bud Light. That's my favorite part of it.
Is that a Bud Light? I don't know what that is.
I'm sure it's some beverage with alcoholic.
Is that a chick? Are we sure? I can't even tell. It's so blurry at that point.
Pretty sure. Anyhow, enough of this shit.
Oh, no.
29 said Balogun committed to the U.S. men's national team. Did he? He hasn't told us that.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Me either. Hey, thank you, Michael, for the support and the $2.
$2 on that one. Yeah. I think he. I'd have to. Do I have his stuff?
I'll wait for the text.
I've got his thing. We're going to go over about 29 stuff here in just a sec.
I mean, he's working tonight. Why would he be?
Yeah.
Why would he be sending stuff out like that? That would be some huge news if it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
When did he say it, Michael?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Because we didn't hear about it today.
It's milk. She's chugging milk.
Out of a fucking can? I don't think so.
Oh my god, that'd be gross.
That would be weird.
Why?
Milk's gross out of a plastic bottle. It's even worse than a can.
All right, so hold on 1 second.
Milk's only good over cereal. I like milk and cereal. Otherwise, it's just a good ingredient for a lot of things, like soups. You can use a little milk and cream, stir it up, and you can make a good soup.
I'm just
You can make
quickly
good
scrolling.
sauces. I'm just going to talk about milk until you figure it out.
Yeah, fair enough. Somebody said that Tact retweeted 29 saying that he's committed. But I'm scrolling through real quick just to see if
It's been committed.
Indeed.
Committed to an insane asylum. I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
I don't know. I don't see it. If anyone wants to tag us in, that'd be fine.
Yeah. I mean, if 29 says it, there's a good chance it's probably
solid
true.
fucking chance at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and with Balogun deleting all of his pictures of himself wearing
the English
national team
I was gonna pull that up. I don't know if I did pull that up or not, but yeah, it's funny that you brought that up. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So I guess while we're not really talking about anything.
Next tab.
Let's just jump onto the Berlin tab. Our topic here. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we found a post of you, Berlin.
Yeah.
A news story on you, actually.
Oh my god. You gotta reel it back a bit, buddy. I mean, this is excessive. Excessive.
You were in the
I know
news.
you like them Polish chicks and stuff, but come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Here we go. You were in the news today.
An entire Polish team.
Need a haircut. Man who has fathered 550 kids faces court to stop his obsessive sperm donation. The quotes, by the way, around obsessive should have ended after the word donation. Obsessive sperm donation. Because believe me, he's just not just jerking off into cans and handing it to chicks. I'm telling you what, there's more to it than, that. So anyhow, I saw this on the news today, Berlin, and I thought of you, and not just because there's some Holland,
too, yeah.
There's some Dutch, what do they call those? Windmill in the back. I just immediately thought of you, and I'm like, look, it's Berliner's in Holland somewhere giving away more sperm.
He's all around Europe. He's got to do that
Polish,
in order to keep his passport active.
The Dutch. I'm sure he's in Belgium.
How did you get my picture? But man, 550 kids. I mean, I feel like they've got to stop him because at some point those kids are going to start hooking up with each other.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know who my father is.
It could be a fucking problem, honestly.
Yeah.
You got all these kids
an
running
abundance
around.
of inbred children in Europe going on here. We're not just talking about the English royalty,
especially if they're all in the same town in Holland somewhere, or in the same town in Poland. All right.
Do you think sperm banks actually like shuffle sperm around the world and say, "Hey, Nashville or Indy or Chicago, here's some of ours. We'll take some of yours. Let's spread it out a bit." That's possibly what I would hope so, because man, otherwise you're gonna have a problem like this.
Listen, if this is the weird thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a sperm bank is open and they are willing to take your sperm, I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the court's getting involved. Why doesn't the sperm bank just say, "Hey, buddy, you show up here every day. We have enough of your sperm.
We still got 30 gallons of your shit on ice, man.
We've got 4 gallons of your shit in our fridge. We don't need any more. Please leave."
Hey, you know what? Props to him though, man. His swimmers are kicking. We'll put it that way. He was meant to thrive and start his own civilization of people.
Genghis
Zombie
Khan.
apocalypse takes off. He's going to repopulate the world, guaranteed.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
A lot of dumb kids, though, man. But
yeah. Well, we don't know how dumb he is. We just know.
Well, no. I'm just talking about the constant inbreeding of kids.
Yeah. Well, that true. Yeah, We do know he likes to spank the lizard. All right, Derek, man, you need to stop donating.
Ooh. Now Derek only has 400 illegitimate kids.
Okay. So during my lifetime, I've been a part of, let's see, 4 failed pregnancies and 1 successful one, and the other one's a stepson. So I guess it's really only counts to be 1. But hey, I tried 4 other times. It just didn't work out. Usually early in pregnancy, it didn't work out. So I guess my sperm wasn't really that great, except for 1 time. And then the other, well, one of those was an abortion.
I'll put the blame on you on that front, but yeah.
Yeah, one of them was an abortion early on in college, and I didn't have any say in that, obviously. So, and anyhow, so yeah, I mean, at one point, I was pretty prolific at possibly having children, but not at the level of this dude. All right, no, there are probably no other, and that's kind of the sad thing. There could have been a lot more Richie kids. There could have been. But being that I didn't have any more, and then my brother has had 0 because he's a prolific womanizer up until the last 8 years, and now it's too late to have kids. All right.
I did it right, huh?
My brother's gonna love that I called him a womanizer on this show. But let's be frank, that's what he was for a very long time. All right. What else we got?
All right, so Berlin wanted us to review one of Tech's viral tweets.
Okay. What are we looking at?
We're just going to jump in here.
Tim Tillman was having a very average season in the 2 Bundesliga for a mid-table team. Well, yeah, I guess they were. He is now one of the best players for the best team in MLS.
Unpackage it. Do it.
Wow. That's heavy. Okay. Let's just say this much. He's been very good so far, but he's got to maintain this through the whole season. And let's also be very clear that he was a starter on a 2 Bundesliga team. And I don't think that a starter on a 2 Bundesliga team, especially one that just got relegated, is way out of MLS territory. And I wouldn't call him the best player in MLS. And I certainly, they were the best team last year. Are they going to be the best team?
No, he says he's the best player, one of the best players for the best team in MLS. So it doesn't indicate that he's the best MLS player. He just happens to be the best player, one of the best players on that team.
He's one of the good players on that team. I won't know. I don't know if I could say he's one of the best yet. It's too early for me. I think he's been serviceable and he's done some good stuff, but I'm not making any massive generalizations or leaps and conclusions, tact like this, to say this clearly shows that some average 2 Bundesliga player is going to be one of the best players in MLS, because we've seen in the past 2 Bundesliga players come here and not do well. We have seen championship players come to MLS and not do well.
Yeah.
We have seen some of the aging players come here and not do well, and they were supposed to still have
the big German guy that came from Bundesliga 1 early on in MLS for New York. He was a great example of of a good player that came to MLS and just sucked royal donkey dick. Now, mind you, that could have just been him coming to MLS going like, it's just a payday, whatevs.
Another great example is Bradley Wright Phillips' brother came to MLS, and he had always played at a higher level than his brother. And when he came, he was garbage. But Bradley Wright Phillips became a MLS star. And he had always played at lower levels than his brother. So, I mean, it doesn't always make sense because sometimes it's about how you adjust. Sometimes players can make that adjustment. Sometimes players are just like when they get here, they're kind of over the hill and they're done.
Yeah. So Michael, the 29th tweet that you sent me, I actually do have pulled up and we will go over. This was one that I didn't. I mean, he kind of mentions it about Balogun.
Okay.
He says Balogun will commit to the U.S. men's national team. That's basically all he says. But it's not that he has officially signed that one-time switch. It's he will do it. This is basically him saying like, yeah, he's gonna do it. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I think we need to be really clear about that distinction though, because there's a giant chasm difference between will and has. All right. I will marry a Playboy model. Well, I never did it, but I will. Though. I said I will marry one. I will. And then it just never happened.
Yeah.
All right. Derek is an MLS stan. Confirmed. I am not. I just don't like making leaps of faith like that.
That's that's the guy from New York.
Lothar Matthäus. Yes. I didn't know who you were talking about, but yeah.
Totes came over, Totes sucked.
There's a great video of Lothar Matthäus being tackled by, I believe, Jason Kreis during a game. And Lothar Matthäus gets the foul, and then he picks up the ball and he shoves it in Jason Kreis's face and says, "This is a ball. This is what you kick and defend. Not me. This is a ball. You know what a ball is?" So that was one of those hilarious moments. But what was Matthäus when he came here? 39, 40, 41?
1,000, who knows? He was old. Yeah.
He was old.
It was much like the emergence of MLS and the European contingent that came across with it. It was a bunch of returning U.S. players along with a bunch of aging out European players who were still good enough, Yeah.
Well, Lothar just simply didn't give a fuck. He came
100%, yeah.
He came here for a paycheck. But I will say, as a kid, he was one of my favorite German players on the German national team. And I mean, I aspired to be Lothar Matthäus. He was like God to me. And look up Lothar Matthäus and the free kick from I think it was 35 yards out. It is one of the craziest, awesomest fucking free kicks ever taken by man.
So speaking of that, though, we were watching the European the Euros this past weekend, actually on Sunday. I forgot which game we were watching. Oh, it must have been the Portugal game because God, I almost fucking fell asleep during that game.
Weren't they playing like Gibraltar or something?
Some ridiculously weaker side, yes. And it was a slaughter, absolute slaughter.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was so boring to watch. But during halftime, they had it was before the Portugal game. It was in between games. They had the whole ESPN 30 and 30 type thing. But instead, they talked they went through all the world. They went through World Cup stuff, World Cup best goalkeeper saves, and they showed them. And it was World Cup best, best goals. I'm thinking man, that there's so many of these goals, and I'm like. That should have been in there. That were amazing. And then all of a sudden they showed the goals. And it's okay. I mean, most of those are in black and white. And yeah, they are 35-yard shots, but they're against unathletic goalkeepers for the most part.
Right.
Come on. There's some. Roberto Carlos wasn't in there. The free kick that he did the wicked bend around the wall against France and it scored and everything like that wasn't even included.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure they left some shit out, but let's not just, put that on.
I'm degrading it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
You degraded the black and white shit.
Black and white. They didn't even have color. Come on.
They didn't even play with a soccer ball back then. It was this big leather thing full of fucking,
pig fed shit. Oh,
weeds and yeah.
No, but I'm looking at the goals. I'm like, okay, yeah, those are some long shots, but
I got to tell you, have you ever kicked a ball from the 50s or the 60s, 70s?
Oh no,
80s. Okay,
yes, the 80s. 100%.
The balls of today are fucking practically balloons
filled with helium, Derek. Yes, I understand.
Compared to the balls, they were like
I know that. Yeah.
rock hard. All right. All right.
No, I know that. I'm just like watching. I'm just like,
so
even then, yeah, amazing shot. Good for you. Bad goalkeeping. We'll put it that way. Okay.
Still pretty amazing for a ball that probably weighed 50 pounds when he kicked it from 35 yards out.
Yeah.
Especially in soaking rain.
That's all they ever knew. So that was just it's a good shot.
In a soaking rain, that leather turned even heavier. It was like kicking a 60-pound bowling ball around the field. All right, anyhow.
Anyways, Berlin's point on this whole thing is that the tribalism in the thread is ridiculous. And yes.
What tribalism?
Tack for posting this, that Tillman, who is an average Bundesliga 2 team player, is now one of the best players at MLS for the best team.
That's jumping the gun.
So I feel like Tack knew what he was doing, but also wanted to make a point, and he may stand by this point. But he absolutely knew what he was doing. And he got a bunch of MLS lifer fans coming up and just trying to shred him. I'm not sure. Tack probably like, whatever.
No, it makes sense. He laid the door open for him by making such a gigantic leap. Yeah, I think. And that's fine. Tack and I can disagree on things. We have before. It's not like we're not going to get over it. In fact, I'd be happy to have him come on here and talk about it. So, but we probably don't have the time for that.
No,
not for a topic like this. It would have to be a bigger topic.
Manuel Beth also posted, he goes, I could win MLS with an average 2 Bundesliga team. Not because of the talent level, but because of the tactical schooling players receive in the first 2 divisions of Germany. Just look at St. Louis. They do a ton of basic things right and decoded the league in no time.
Well, we love Manuel Veth.
It's Veth. Okay, I said Veth.
I mean, it's Veth. I'm sorry.
That's how I pronounce it.
I had a teacher named Veth back in high school. So Manuel's a good guy. He's the guy who runs Transfer Market.
Sure, yeah.
I've been on shows with him. He knows his shit, and I do agree that St. Louis did figure this out really fucking fast. Mm-hmm. But again, I want to caution Manuel, and I want to caution Tack. It's really early in the season, and we have seen teams start off hot and then go on like a 10-game losing streak. All right?
I'll also say
too hot. Too hot. The steak is too hot.
With St. Louis here, you have a team that has had at least 1 goal gifted to them every single match.
How many games into the season are we? 3?
5. I think Chicago's only 4. So no, I think we're 5, and I think Chicago's
4 or 5. I mean, it's not balanced. They're going to be players with more than others.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Or teams more than others.
I'm just saying that with St. Louis that they've been gifted a goal almost every fucking game. Like literally a back pass to the striker. The striker's like, "Oh well, thank you. Where's my goal?" You know.
Your point is well taken. However, even if that weren't true, I still would not make this leap if I were Manuel, because
Manuel can make that point because he feels confident.
How are you going to make a point based on fucking 5 games, Brett? How is that a relevant argument to make?
He's looked at MLS over the course of the past handful of years.
I don't care how long he's looked at it.
I'm sure these 5 games are not the first time he's ever witnessed MLS in general.
I don't give a shit how long he's looked at it. You can't go 5 games and then say, just look at how easy St. Louis has figured this out.
Okay, no.
They figured it out. They figured out 5 games, but they could lose the next 10, 15 games. Yeah. That's how it works in MLS. So him making this statement, I think, jumped the fucking shark. It's too much.
You and I are arguing 2 different points here. I'm talking about him taking an.
I'm not arguing with you at all. I'm arguing with him.
No, okay. So I'm taking his stance as far as taking the average Bundesliga 2 team and dominating.
You're not going to dominate. No.
But he says he could win it with an average Bundesliga.
I would love to see him come with Greuther Fürth and dominate MLS. Good luck on that. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I'm saying. That Manuel's jumping. He's jumping the gun. I'm not yelling at Brett.
Don't
I'm
yell
yelling
at Brett.
to get my fucking point across. Because I'm trying to say to Brett, I'm not arguing with you, motherfucker. I'm arguing with Veth. So Veth is wrong. Is all I'm saying. You don't. No, I'm not missing the point. The point is he can't make this point yet based on St. Louis. St. Louis could crumble and fall apart and lose every single game for the rest of the season. And then is he going to still say, look at how they figured out fucking MLS so fast?
I
think he can't say that.
Talking about is the whole tactical schooling that Bundesliga 1 and 2 teams get compared to, say, MLS team players.
I agree with that. That's fine, but don't use St. Louis as the argument. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100% that it's definitely early to say St. Louis decoded it because you're right. They could fucking lose the next 10 games and then not make the playoffs. It'll absolutely possibly happen.
I want to be really clear. I am not disagreeing with the middle statement about them having tactical schooling. I am disagreeing with the final statement. Just look at St. Louis. That one is wrong. The rest of it I could live with, but that final statement is incorrect. You don't look at St. Louis because it's too early in the season to use St. Louis as an example of anything, really. In fact, Chicago could win every single game the rest of the year. And they start all they're always
come on,
shit.
son. No, that's never got. They might tie every game for the remainder of the year. That's possible. Win? Come on.
Listen, I have been a lifelong guy who said the best guys need to be on the national team. And that meant, why do we have so many MLS guys on the team? It's always been my question. Now, I don't want this to make me look like I'm some sort of massive MLS defender, but I have to say, when you jump, steps in logic, then I have to call out what you said. It just doesn't make sense. And nor does what Tax say makes sense to me. And like I said, I'd be happy to have that discussion with him here. And I promise not to yell at him. All right.
Make promises you can't keep there. Come on.
Sample size is not 5 games. Bigger picture is, yes, it is 5 games, Berlin. That's all they played. St. Louis has only played 5 games. Bigger picture is how tribal U.S. men's national team selection is and how disturbing these people are. Which people are we talking about?
Well, we're going to get into that kind of here.
We're getting there.
I'm literally going to do a couple scroll downs because I guarantee you the entire comment section is literally just people trying to flame tact on this. But MLS Buzz says Austin Trusty was having a below average season with MLS and a mid-table team. I don't know if Colorado was a mid-table team at the time.
Not when he was not at the time. No.
He is now one of the best players for a club in the championship, but it's also like a bottom half championship team.
It's a good point, and that's why I did the Bradley brothers example, right? Yeah. One was supposed to be better than the other. One succeeded in MLS, the other didn't. So this isn't all like you can't draw straight lines here. This is about character. It's about adjustment. It's about what players, feel good in the environment they're in. It's about the system they're asked to play in. I don't know if we can make any massive generalities here. Alex Martinez says, Brett, if St. Louis had been gifted a goal each game, is that a coincidence, or is it St. Louis doing something that making those gifted goals happen?
So there were at least 2, maybe even 3 of the 5 games that they've played so far where the starting striker is behind the defense and in between the defense and the goalkeeper. And the defense literally turned around, went to pass it back to the goalkeeper, and passed it right to the St. Louis striker. That's gifting a goal. That's not doing something special. That's just gifting a goal. He's like, here, score.
Okay.
I think some players in MLS might have money on St. Louis winning MLS Cup because I think that's what it is.
I just thought there might be some reach arounds pre-game we didn't know about.
Like, hey, pass me the ball. I'm going to be behind you. That'd be great. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it's laughable. People obviously posted the ad nauseum as far as the highlight reels put.
Are we really going to go through this
tribalism?
Because we know what the tribalism is. Yeah. We know there are people who think MLS is garbage, and they're wrong. And then we know there are people that think that MLS is the fucking bee's knees, and they're wrong too. All right? There's a happy in between somewhere we need to get to. Does MLS have a long way to go to keep growing? They absolutely do. Should it be more competitive? Should there be promotion, relegation? We're not going to get into all those issues tonight. But is there tribalism? Yes. Sometimes it's really clear to see. Then you got me, and you're like, well, what tribe does he fit in? Neither. I don't fit in any tribe. I'm my own man. I don't do
we found out earlier in the show that you are an MLS.
People try to put me in whatever tribe they think I'm in, but guess what? That tribe won't have me. So there you go. Like if you said, oh, Derek's an MLS defender, all those guys who've been fucking busting my asshole for years for saying that so-and-so doesn't belong on the fucking U.S. men's national team, they're going to say the opposite. We don't want him on our club. And that's why I always say, I wouldn't want to be part of any club that would have me as a member.
Okay.
It's a fucking Yogi Berra-ism. God damn it.
Oh,
all right.
Like the picnic basket?
No, quit saying that. Fuck the Ranger, boo-boo. All right.
Hey, you. Hey, boo-boo.
Derek is a cocksucker.
You bring it up. You keep bringing up Yogi. I'm like, I'm just going to keep swinging for the fences. I'm going to hit it one of these days.
Hey, I don't need to slobber over Sergeant. He's got that shit taken care of, man. All right.
His wife?
I hope so. He's procreating. All right. So he's doing something right. Yes. Do I love me some Sergeant? I do. I know that you like him out wide, and I like him up the middle. Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
No, he does like him out wide.
No, I said the middle of what?
So Berlin likes him out here, and I like him right here. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna bounce in some Alexi Laws tweets. So anybody who has that on their bingo card, good for you. And it's not first off, the one I'm gonna pull up here isn't a dumb statement. This is just one that I'm like that hit me. I'm like, whoa.
This is on top of the one I sent you?
Yeah, we have two of them.
Oh, for fuck's sake, this show's going to be on till 1 a.m.
So this one hit me. And I didn't even think about it as far as how many teams from CONCACAF might be in 2026.
8 CONCACAF teams can qualify for the World Cup in 2026. The USA, Canada, and Mexico automatically as hosts. The top 3 CONCACAF World Cup qualifier finishers. And then the 4th and 5th place CONCACAF World Cup qualifier finishers go to the Intercontinental Playoffs. How many CONCACAF teams qualify for the next World Cup? Asked Nick Gilliver. And this was Alexi's answer.
So I'm looking at the last octagonal.
Yeah.
And going, oh, man. We're going to have all 8 of those included?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Honduras could be there. Jamaica could be there.
Salvador
could be there. It's.
Hey, listen, if fucking Togo and New Zealand get to make it, then we get to have 8. All right? That's what I think.
It's going to be an insane World Cup if there's 8 CONCACAF teams in
there. What it's going to be is we're going to have some 7-0, 6-0, 5-0 slumber games.
Yep.
That's what we're going to have.
No, well, I mean, maybe we could situate if El Salvador makes it, that they could have it on their go patch of a rainy, muddy field and see how Germany does against them. Maybe it's only a 2-0 game.
They're not going to get that luxury.
No, they won't get that luxury.
So Germany's going to play Guinea New Papua or the American Samoas.
Oh, man.
And just destroy them. Probably Samoa before American Samoa. And I'm trying to think of the other one, Seychelles or whatever. I can't remember the other team that regularly competes.
I feel like you're making up names right now. I mean, I've heard of American Samoa, and that's about it.
No, Seychelles.
Papua New Guinea, I guess, too. But.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember the island nation that competes the most with New Zealand in Oceania.
Nobody?
No, there is one. They don't. Okay, when I say compete, they only lose like 4-0.
Yeah, thank you. So Australia up and left. They're like, oh, this is some bullshit shit.
Speaking of lawless,
yeah, I gotta pull up the video with audio now.
We're just gonna do the audio so we don't get fried by by the YouTube masters.
So anybody who wants to actually watch this all the way through, it's Alexi Lawless ranks his top 5 candidates for U.S. men's national team manager.
And we're just going to examine Lawless's complete lack of logic. Here is a guy for the last 3 years who has said Berhalter shouldn't come back, should only have one cycle.
One cycle.
And he's going to abandon that principle, absolutely abandon it, to embrace a different principle altogether, which has to do with whether or not Berhalter got fucked by the Reynas. And because he got fucked, now he's Lawless's number one dude for the job. Are you kidding me? How much sense does that make, Brett?
So
does it make any sense?
It's one of the points that he can stand behind. He can say, "Hey, I feel like he got screwed.
That'd be fine to say.
Still deserves a chance. I'm still sticking to my guns as far as saying he should be a one-cycle coach, just like everybody else. But if he gets rehired, I can understand the fact that he kind of got dicked over.
That would be an actual rational thing to say.
But he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to change his. I want Berhalter to get signed. Type of thing.
What he is doing, and he doesn't realize it. Whether I don't know what his problem is, but he has no principles. Don't take him seriously. I don't take him seriously at all on this at all. S27. Thank you for the 199. It is impossible to take him seriously because he doesn't even realize the fallacy of his own argument. Like, I have this principle. I'm going to abandon that principle for another principle. And the new principle is if the Reynas fuck you over, then you get to be number one on my manager. My list of managers who should be the manager of the U.S. men's national team. How Mossy could sit there and stand to take. I don't even we even need to play it. Because if you want to go listen to it. Honestly. I don't think we need to play it because I just said what he said.
Yeah.
Basically, he said because that Berhalter got fucked in the ass by the Reynas. He didn't say it like that. He said,
he might have to listen to the audio now.
He did swear a couple times. They beeped out shit twice.
Wow.
Because he had to put up with that shit. All right. Beep shit. So listen, Alexi, yes, he got fucked. He shouldn't have to ever have dealt with that shit. But that doesn't change the fact that A, your first assessment was correct about one cycle only. And two, we can get through that.
Two.
I don't even remember. But number two, that doesn't all of a sudden make any sense to create a whole new another philosophy, but that the guy that gets fucked in the ass the most by the Reynas gets to move to number one as the potential manager list. It makes no sense. And Mossy should have called you out for that shit.
In theory, according to his own opinion, Berhalter, regardless of being screwed, should never have been a contender because he's a one-cycle club member. He's member 0052.
Yeah.
On the one cycle club member. I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, oh man, Berhalter got screwed. He should still get the interview if he was going to get the interview beforehand.
Yep.
But I'm sticking to my guns as far as saying you're my one cycle coach.
And not my number one pick.
Yeah.
Which is what Lawless has him as. His number one pick.
It's a troll, and he's going against the grain.
It's not a troll, Brett.
No. It's a troll because he's going against the grain to get hits at this point.
I don't think so. I think he actually believes this shit. I really do, Brett.
I don't know.
I mean, he sits here and argues it in the most earnest way you could possibly do. Is this guy that big of a troll? If he is, his ears should be bigger, and he should have hair growing off his fucking back of his neck and his back.
Know if he doesn't have hair. He may shave daily, Derek. Come on.
Doubt that. Mike H. Derek's band lost to Alexi's band in Battle of the Bands in 1992. Dude, we would have kicked his fucking band's ass. I tell you what, we would have. Not in like a fist fight because fucking Lawless is like 6'4" or something weird like that. But no, we would have destroyed him. His music's all right. I don't want to get any more trouble. Alexi will hate us forever. He already hates me anyhow. What does it matter? Al Weinstein, that's a low blow. Mike don't say that. Mike, what?
Mike just said that you lost to his band in 1992, and he says, that's a low blow, Mike. Don't say that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. English major, I'm going to read this incorrectly.
Oh, yeah, I can't read.
Put your eyeballs in.
It's small. That's what she said. All right, what else we got? Does Derek know that Epstein Island is an official CONCACAF member? They get $63,000 per year from FIFA. I did not know that, but it wouldn't surprise me. It honestly would not surprise me. And I didn't think it was named Epstein Island. I thought it was Lolita Island or something weird like that, from what I've heard.
That makes it even creepier.
Well, he didn't hide it. Didn't he call his plane the Lolita Express?
I don't know.
Or was that
all
just
I know is he didn't kill himself, apparently.
Or is that just what Bill Clinton called it? What do you think? Or all the other numerous people that went there.
I guess while we're talking about that,
we're never going to hear about officially because nobody wants to expose those people of power. But that's okay. You know, guy fucking hung himself in his own jail.
Hung himself, sure.
There you go. Absolutely.
We've got jumping into the weekend's or this performance against El Salvador.
Are we doing that?
Yeah, we're gonna jump into it. I know it's like an hour and 20 minutes into it.
I thought you had
talking about this.
I thought you had 102 tabs.
Now we're down to 4 now.
Oh, that is so reassuring. I feel so much better now.
We're an hour and 20 minutes, Derek, and we're just now getting to the actual topic. You're like, oh, thank God, we're no more tabs. Let's start talking about soccer, guys.
In the days when I used to do a little bit of Jenny Cush while we did these shows, I would be ready to go to sleep about right now. But I have a little bit more oomph in me now because that particular strand was like it gets you really euphoric and you feel great for like, I don't know, an hour. And you want to go to bed.
We learned today, though, that masturbation does, in fact, improve your concentration. So,
well, I got to say,
a little more into your life there, Derek.
I mean, if you take the last 3 days into account, I should be sharp as a tack right now.
There you go. Greg Berhalter said, I went to the island. All right.
I hope you didn't kick anyone while you're there, Greg.
So let's talk about the actual performance. I mean, we talked a little bit about the game.
Why don't we just do a performance assessment for every player that was on the list for the window?
Okay, so if we're going to do that,
we're going to give them grades A through F, or an incomplete, an I. For
we got actually after this topic, we actually have another topic to talk about then. Okay,
we do.
Right. Well, it's part of the 4 tabs. It's going to happen regardless.
It's part of the 4 what?
The 4 tabs I have.
Oh, left. 4 tabs.
Yeah,
it's part of the forecast.
4 cans of tab.
I thought you said forecast. I'm like, what? Forecast. Part of the forecast.
Forecast is another 40 minutes of the show.
Well, at least it's not about your foreskin. All right, let's go.
It's true.
Are you circumcised?
Yes.
By the way? Yes? Okay. Yeah. Most people our age are. That was a standard thing back then. Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's more like
plus I'm 4% Jewish. So.
All right.
So says my 23andMe.
So, yes, 23andMe, good one.
No, that is a thing.
Yeah, we found out that you're like 50% Neanderthal too. And I understand. I recall us talking about this, Derek.
No, I had hardly any Neanderthal at all. Less than 0.5%. All right, Berlin.
Man. Hopefully your day starts late.
3:38. Good night. I have to impregnate more Polish girls. Turd, she has a belly now.
Oh no.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, friend. It was enjoyable arguing with you tonight. What else?
Hardly an argument, but
okay. We have fun. I mean, he's busting my balls about Sargent. You know.
Yeah. So, anyways, so the match against El Salvador, we're coming off this high from the 7-1 win against Grenada, and everybody's like celebrating, like, woo, we won, we killed them. We're gonna go play El Salvador at home. We're gonna smoke them. Hell, I even said that we're gonna handedly beat El Salvador. We're playing with Hudson ball. It's not the static Berhalter ball that we've been used to for the last 4 years.
Yep, I claimed a 3-0 win.
Yeah, but it could have been. It could have been. There were a couple chances that could have been resulted in goals.
Well, fuck that McKennie miss. Oh, holy shit.
McKennie miss, the Reina miss, he hit the post, nailed that post.
Yep.
Pulisic's miss that Lucas set up. Actually, you know what, Derek? We have video evidence of that goal. You want to that attempted goal? You want to see it?
Can we without getting busted?
Oh, 100%. So here is video of Luka trying to get Pulisic to score in the match, okay?
Here you go. Here you go.
Pulisic, put it in the goal. Just kick the ball. Kick it in the goal. Right there.
I don't wanna.
Oh, it's okay. You don't. Here, I'm going to set you back up. Try it again. Oh, you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
So close. Oh my God. Is that Rooney's kid? Who is that?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get to it. Pulisic. Let's start at Pulisic. Pulisic had the worst, most atrocious game I have ever seen him play. Nothing. His first touch was such garbage. I can't even fathom having a game where everything goes wrong. And that's what happened in this game. Practically every time he touched the ball, he lost it. And he just didn't have any sort of vibe going, any instinctual moves, nothing. He clogged up shit with fucking Musa. Like Musa had the ball and he like ran right next to him for no fucking reason and brought the defender with him. What is he fucking doing? He looks so goddamn clueless in this game. Go ahead.
It definitely wasn't there. And there's a part of me that looks at this, and I know the first game was against Grenada, of course, but Pulisic was playing with a different back with Scally there, and Scally plays different than Jedi. Jedi wants to bomb up that sideline, which ends up clogging up the path that Pulisic normally sits in when you have a back that doesn't jump up there.
That's nice.
I'm saying during the Berhalter eras that Pulisic kept cutting into the center, kept clogging things up, trying to get to the ball, but he's opening up space for Jedi to run down the line. And it's not, for whatever reason, it works, but then some games it doesn't work.
Okay,
in this game, it definitely didn't work, and Pulisic's first touch was god-awful. His set pieces were horrible.
I can't even go anywhere near blaming this on the clogging factor. That is not what's happening to me. I thought that Pulisic was fed the ball endlessly in this game.
Sure.
In both halves, and he couldn't fucking add 1+1. It looked like he had been given a fucking lobotomy before the game. His feet were like, there was no nerve connection between his feet and his fucking brain. Something was amiss.
Somebody had actually taken the leap of faith and assuming that Perez actually contacted a voodoo witch doctor, and they got a voodoo doll of our wingers, because not only was Pulisic's first touch and everything horrible, but Zendejas was terrible too. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just like every time the ball went to him, it was like, you know, and then he busted his ass to try to get the ball back. But it's always that first touch, and we were our own worst enemy. It was our first touch, errant passes, all the shit that we witnessed at times during the Berhalter era. And then we would sit there and bitch about. But both those players just had god-awful games. And when you take our wings away in that situation, what the fuck are you going to do?
And the sad thing for a lot of times for Zendejas is you just fucking over-dribbled the fucking ball. It's like he would, like, give it up, dude.
Yeah.
Pass it. And I think...
And their set plays, both of them, garbage.
With the headline of this show, or the title of the show being, sometimes when you give players freedom, they fuck up. And this is just a great case of this. Like, okay, finally, this guy's saying, go out and play big boy ball. It's on you. You know, no more of that fucking Pep Guardiola, Greg Berhalter wannabe shit. You go out and be you. And do it naturally. And it just didn't work just didn't work just because like that's not going to work, because that will work if guys don't have their heads jammed so far up their colons that they can't play.
Yeah. And we talked about the DK in Pepi scenario and why DK didn't start against Grenada and Pepi did, and vice versa. For the El Salvador game. But I mean, the same could be said about why Zendejas started against El Salvador and not against Grenada. He was the newcomer. Why did Aronson play against the objectively weaker side? And I'm not saying that Zendejas or Aronson, we've definitely had our gripes with Aronson for the most part recently. But if you're going to have to say one of those have to start against the stronger side, 9 times out of 10 people are going to have to say Aronson would start over Zendejas.
I wouldn't have.
Oh, I would have.
I know you would have, but I wouldn't have. And maybe it's because I've been watching so much Aronson at Leeds that it's starting to make my head spin.
You're jaded. I get it.
And my stomach hurt. So I'm like, just give me some Zendaya so I don't have to watch Aronson play anymore, because it's getting so irritating at Leeds that it, like I said, kind of makes my stomach turn.
It's a fresh player to the national team. And yes, he's played a match at least with the Camp Cupcake or whatever, the Camp Strudel or whatever he called it. But I mean, you're looking at a must-get result game against the higher opposition of the window. I would absolutely play our more seasoned players at that point.
I'm not saying Liga MX is anywhere near the English Premier League, but the way Zendejas has been playing as one of the best players, if not the best player for Pumas this season, I was willing and ready and open to have him start. Huh?
I thought he was Club America.
What did I say?
With Pumas.
Ooh.
I thought it was Club America.
Did I just have like a total brain fart? Look it up.
You said it. Yeah, John says it's Club America. Yeah, I think you just thought of a Mexican team. That's all you did.
Oh. Okay.
Bad, Derek. Bad.
Could be. Hold on.
You made me second guess it, and you're like, the great season he sent with Pumas. And I'm like, yeah, Pumas. Because the Club America just had that massive game against Chivas where he got booed like nonstop. So that's the only reason why I remember that it's Club America.
It is Club America.
Yeah. Oh, Derek, you've been found out. Oh, no.
Why did I think it was Pumas?
I don't know. Third played for Pumas, didn't he?
I don't know. Sometimes my brain just dissolves into like small pieces. All right, so there we go.
Regardless there.
So I just wanted to look it up because I thought I was going nuts.
I don't think our backs, our wing, or just our right and left back had good games by any means. Dest, I think, picked it up when Booth came in, and people were pointing this out, and I didn't really see it in the game until they pointed it out, and then I started recognizing it on some of the highlights and stuff. That when the great thing with Booth being on the right with Dest is that every time that Dest made the run up, Booth always checked back and covered the back for Dest. So when we lost possession, because we more often than not did, that back was covered and Dest had time to come back. Obviously, Booth's crossing was significantly better than Zendejas and his first touch and everything. I thought he had a better performance in that match.
Yeah, Dest and Booth, man, when they crossed over, they literally just swapped spots.
Yeah.
Like Booth became the right back and then Dest just became the right winger. So, I mean, that was just at some points I'm like, okay, where the fuck is Booth? Oh, he's back playing right back. My bad.
Right next to Miles.
And then they, play would just be disrupted and they'd just switch places. So.
Yeah.
All right, we forgot grades. Pulisic, I'm going to give him for the window.
We're doing the whole window?
Yeah.
Because that's skewed. That's going to skew his performance against El Salvador.
I mean, you're going to give Grenada game that much fucking jizz?
I mean, you can't take points away from him.
You need to more heavily weigh the El Salvador game.
This isn't a college course. There's no.
It's 80-20.
There's no. Yeah, it's like.
It's 80-20. I'm telling you, man. If that 80 is with El Salvador, the 20 goes to Grenada.
I was going to give him the C- for this game, and then you threw in the Grenada game, and I'm like, how could I still give him a bad grade for this match?
Dude, this was a lot worse than a C-. That was a fucking F from Pulisic. That's an F. If I ever saw an F by Pulisic, that was an F. A fucking complete failure.
It just wasn't anything great. I mean, again, even his opportunity that joked around with Luka having, he did a little juggling inside the box and then plopped it up on a silver platter for him to just volley it, and he skyrocketed over the goal. That was his one big opportunity.
All right, D-.
You know what? And he had that one play at the very beginning of the second half though, where he immediately set Reyna up and Reyna hit the post. So you can give him something there.
Does he get anything for that?
made a pass forward.
I don't really do that much. That was all Reyna.
It was Reyna cut it back, beat a man, and then still ripped the post. Yeah.
Okay, so just for this game, then I give him a D. D-. That's my grade for Pulisic. For this game, fuck the Grenada game. Let's just move on to El Salvador.
I'm really hard pressed to find anything that's super positive. So I guess I would fall into the D range in this situation.
All right, D-. There you go. Other side was Zendejas.
Yeah. Chris Gary says Pulisic gets a D. Wait, that came out wrong.
We don't know what Pulisic wants. All right, we won't know.
I think Zendejas was in the same boat as Pulisic, quite frankly.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see much redeeming at that point.
No, there were some moments. There were some good passes. There were some moments. They were better than Pulisic's moments. So I would give Zendejas like a C- to D.
Okay, no, I'll go with
like
that.
A D+.
I was leaning into the D+.
Yeah, D+. D-.
That's an extended D, by the way, guys.
Yeah. DK earns it. D.
Yeah, he got a D too. Yeah,
D.
That was not a good performance for him, and it's just like everything he did was just not the thing to do, the right thing to do.
Yeah,
it just wasn't good.
Reyna, I'm just gonna give a straight C. C+. He hit the post.
Got
one wide.
He was when he collected the ball further back. So we talked about this in the first 20-25 minutes. Reyna was as high as DK, and I feel like that was dictated by Hudson.
And they both smoked the same weed.
And once he started checking back and receiving the ball further back in the midfield, I think his ability to hold on to the ball and keep possession and move around even with pressure was good. I don't think he definitely didn't slot any through balls that we all talk about when we talk about Reyna playing the 10. We're like, if Reyna played the 10, he'd be splitting those balls to everybody else type of thing, but he wasn't really doing that.
I don't know. I think that C+ is fine.
I'm leaning more towards the C+ to B- because I didn't see anything really bad with him.
Come on, he's fucking Gio Reyna.
Sure. He didn't stand out, which is why
he should be clobbering these dudes.
Well, we all should, and quite frankly, all should be doing that. I mean, our entire team plays for teams in the top 5 leagues. More like the top 3 leagues.
He didn't have to play winger. He got to play exactly where he wanted, and he still didn't set shit on fire.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That to me, that's a C performance. That's below average for him.
But his below average is average for you?
It's like C- average to me. It's below what I would expect from an average Gio performance. I would expect him to be more dominant. I would expect him to impose himself on the game. And I would expect a whole lot less of this, which we saw.
I guess I wasn't paying attention to that, so I didn't see that.
He did it a number of times. Sometimes very justifiably, by the way, especially when Pulisic didn't pass him the ball. And I'm not saying there's anything personal going on there, but there were a number of times Pulisic decided
we'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Dilly dick around with the ball when Reyna's like, I'm right here, pass me the fucking ball. Nope, no pass. Now, did they connect at other times? Yes, they did. So it's obviously they're willing to pass to one another, but Pulisic's head seemed to be down a lot. So I would just say, shut up, Greg.
Greg's on your side, Derek. You're right. He was terrible.
I didn't say it was terrible.
Gio is a finished player. Derek said it here, guys.
I did not say those things. No, I just expected more. Brett, so did you, admit it.
Sure. But I didn't see anything really wrong with his game as a whole. Like he didn't impose. He wasn't the dominant player in the game by any means. But he didn't. I mean, I don't recall many things that he did wrong.
Here's what he did wrong. He didn't kick fucking ass. That's what he did wrong. He should have dominated. He should have been.
There were very few players on that team that did quote unquote kick ass. And
that's why they're all getting shitty grades.
Yeah.
So he's getting one too. I'm sorry.
Hard to stand out when the entire team is pooping the bucket.
Yeah, well,
and that can be said about anybody, quite frankly.
You're Gio fucking Reyna. Take the reins, man. We saw him dribble through half the fucking Mexican team.
Yeah, but Mexico's worse than El Salvador. Give it.
Come on.
True. Come on.
I know you're kidding, but that's not even funny. All right.
29. Yeah, Diego's in the chat. He'll agree. El Salvador's better than Mexico, right, Diego? Well, wait for him to come on. He'll tell me. He'll tell the truth.
And we're not bringing Diego on at 1 hour and 40 minutes in this show. Diego, though, we do want to hear from you soon. All right. Next, guess we're moving to the midfield. Oh, okay. We did Zendejas out wide. So we did Reyna as the CAM. Now we need to do McKennie and Musa. McKennie. I'd give McKennie actually one of the players that actually didn't shit the bed. I'd give him a B.
Well, hell, he had the assist, too.
He had the assist.
So, yeah.
That was great vision. Great vision. Yeah.
Solid pass. Barely a move, and he slotted that ball with the perfect weight through the defense. It was nice.
Yeah. Musa, on the other hand, needs to stop playing like he's a fucking dandelion. Like, you have the skills, my man. Go out there and show what you got.
I don't know what happened to Moose in that game. I barely saw him. When I did, he was more or less sitting towards the back line.
It was Valencia Musa. And I was like, are we serious? I have to watch Valencia Musa play for the U.S. men's national team against El Salvador? Seriously? He plays much better competition week by week in La Liga. And here he comes with this opportunity to totally kick ass, take the fucking reins of this game and say, this game's mine. And he doesn't do it. I don't know, man. Very disappointed. I'd give him a D. D. I'm sorry. You got to take the reins.
I was going to say C minus, but I mean, again, I just didn't see much from him as a whole.
I was D for disappointed. That's what I was. So McKennie a B. Without McKennie, this game seemed pretty fucking garbage to me. Then we go out wide to Jedi, who did not have his most stellar game either.
No.
I'd give him probably I know a lot of people were like, oh, it was fucking horrible. I don't know. I didn't see horrible, but I saw ineffective, and I'd give him a C minus. C minus.
I'm cool with that grade, quite frankly.
How about Dest? Horrible in the first half, better in the second. I'd give him a C. C minus.
CC plus. I'd say CC plus, I guess.
Would you? All right. Well,
I mean, the first half was absolutely forgettable. Second half was much better, and obviously, I think that happened with the sub, and all of a sudden, that makes the difference. Quite frankly,
some no-look fucking passes. One that almost cost us a goal.
Yeah.
God. Got to stop hot dogging it. That's all I got to say.
What is it? And maybe Hugo has our number. Quite frankly, maybe he has our number, and he just absolutely shuts us down, and we just shit the bed at that point. We don't know how to react to like, oh god, this team of semi-pro players and some MLS players are battling us.
And the most despicable thing about the fact that Hugo Perez is as good as he is that this old boys network in MLS and U.S. soccer are so fucking White Castle on the Hill bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This guy can't get a fucking sniff of an MLS team. Not even a fucking interview. Not even a fucking interview with a USL team. When fucking Landon Donovan coaches a USL team. This guy's been working his balls off, dedicated to the youth teams of this country. Nobody's willing to give him a sniff. He doesn't get to sniff any of the fruits in the bowl. He just gets a big fucking frothy fucking sack of shit to sniff. That's all he gets to sniff. Hugo Perez deserves some goddamn respect, and I'm getting sick of it.
There was a one of the pundits asked Hugo during the presser, like, hey, basically, have you heard from the United States as far as possible coaching position? And he's like, yeah, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of like, man, they'd absolutely kill me they would kill me at home if I took that position.
At home? Well, because he's in El Salvador now. Because nobody else would give him a job in the United States. So pathetic. It's so pathetic that a guy like that with that much experience and that much capability has been relegated to coaching in El Salvador instead of earning his way up the ladder in the United States because no one would give him an opportunity outside of the youth teams. It's despicable. I'm sorry. It is a reflection on the old boys network at MLS and US Soccer. And not old enough boys, apparently, because he's from a total generation. And as you know, all that generation has pretty much been wiped out of U.S. Soccer, whether it be John Harkes, Eric Winalda, Hugo Perez is older than them. Lawless makes a living somehow, but he's probably part of the old crew too. So there you go. Somehow. All right, so we got Ream. I'm giving Ream an A. I'm sorry. What did he do wrong? Give him an A. B plus? A minus? I can't think of what he's done wrong, except for cut off like a bunch of long balls that they were trying to heave. And usually that would make him vulnerable, right? But he wasn't what was vulnerable.
He didn't do anything wrong. But I don't know.
There were plenty of long balls he had to take part in stopping, Brett.
B plus A minus range, I guess.
It's not like El Salvador didn't have possession and didn't attack us, because they did. So the back four had to hold up. And I'd say that both he and Miles did a really good job. I'd give them both A minuses to B pluses.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was my big post from the game after it happened. I'm like, like him or hate him, I think Miles had a solid match. And it was funny how split the comment section was. But oddly enough, some people who were very much anti-Miles during qualifier admitted that he had a good match.
He did. See, we're not.
Yeah, Larry said that I was falling for the MLS WWE narrative because I said that. I'm like, no, objectively, he had a good game.
He had a good game.
I'm not saying that he's our number one or number two. I'm just saying he had a good game.
It was a solid game. He didn't do anything wrong, and he did things that were right. So I don't know. It looked like a pretty good performance, especially when El Salvador attacked us a lot more than they thought they were going. I thought going into the game they were going to be able to do. And there were portions of that game where El Salvador was in our half for significant minutes. And the back four did not collapse, and especially the CBs did not collapse. And there was no goal. And so Turner
had one big save.
B plus, A minus at best.
I mean,
at worst.
What can you do? Hey, you know what? He had a really nice. He made the save, and he had a really nice get off the ground fast and lob it to Pulisic, who in turn backheeled it out of bounds. Do you remember that play?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was like he was off to the races, and the ball went up between his legs, and he backheeled it right out of bounds. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? Who is this out there?
I could only hope that Pulisic had a huge hangover, or somebody shot him up with some weird shit before the game and his mind was jumbled. Because I cannot think of any other reason why somebody of his ability and his skill had such an atrocious game. I cannot. I've been thinking about it. I thought about times when I played, and this is in fucking high school, and I had a few bad touches at the beginning of a game or something.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
they dropped the charges, so no worries there.
How many times did I fall apart? There weren't many times. I don't remember. I remember going through like 10 or 15 minutes of a game where I'm like, God damn it, nothing's going my way, and I'm playing like shit. Get your shit together. And then I would get my shit together. I would never play horrible for 90 fucking minutes. And I get it. I was playing a bunch of fucking Kentucky motherfuckers, from, West Hardin or North Hardin or one of the Hardin schools, Elizabethtown. I get it. But still, there's an equation there. And he's one of the best players on our team. He can't go through moments like this. Like Chad McGowan, our best player on our team, never fell apart.
I love how you keep dropping the name of your players you played with, as if people in the chat are like, "Oh yeah, Chad, that's right."
I'm sorry. I'm bringing him up. He was a goddamn good player.
It's just funny because every time you talk about players that you played with in Kentucky, you're like, oh, yeah, and Bill Smith did this, and Joey Franklin did that.
No Bill Smith on the team.
It was funny because I had a kid that was a grade up on me that played, and every time he made a mistake, like bad pass or whatever, something that always resulted in going out of bounds because you can't do this in the midst of being dispossessed in the middle of the field because he's a midfielder. But every time something like a bad pass or a foul or something like that happened, he would just go, Derek! Like he'd get on, because his name is Derek.
Oh, man!
So he'd always call his name out, like get on himself, like if he messed up, be like, Derek! Like, so it was fun.
I've never done that. I always just go to my straight stand-up, which is, God damn it. That's it. I don't even have to go. There's just, God damn it. I mean, that's what I would say. Oh, fucking shit. Something like that. And then I just move on with the game.
I guess while we're talking about going on with the game here, we got a couple of sub performances I guess we can bring up here.
Let's do those in Hudson.
So, so obviously Pepi.
I'm giving Pepi an A.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't play bad at all for the limited time. Plus, he got the game-winning goal. So,
yep.
Hell, an A all-around window for him. I mean, his stock rose.
You score against the shitty team, and you score against the team that's not as shitty. There you go.
Yeah. Luca De La Torre.
I'll give him a B-.
I'd say B-. He was pretty solid. I mean, his touches were key. He had the one chance that gifted Pulisic with the opportunity to score and didn't.
Yeah, I mean he should have had an assist. Yeah. So there's that.
Isn't that just his MO? Quite frankly, we've been saying that since his Heracles days. Like people are like, oh, he hasn't had a goal or an assist all season. I'm like, the chances are there. Yeah, you can say the goals because he's not a goal scorer, but the assists were all there, and the same thing happened here. It's like
there are times on there are some times at Celta Vigo, I see the same shit. Like he makes a great through ball, and motherfuckers kick it over the bar.
Yep.
You're like, what? This guy is cursed. It's cursed. Who else we got?
We had
Aronson.
Goose. Oh, Aronson. Yeah, let's go with Aronson first.
I'd give Aronson a C.
I guess C plus range. I mean, I didn't see anything from him really. It was an average game.
He scored against Grenada, and then he sort of.
Oh, you're going for the whole window? Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, even if we're going in that last game, there's not a lot to judge from, so I just give him a C. Who else we got? Who are we missing?
Oh, I said Booth.
Booth, yeah, I'm gonna give him an I. I just didn't feel like there was much to. I mean, I guess you could give him like a B- or a C+. I thought some of his crosses were good, some of them weren't. When he was on, a lot of the play wasn't on his side of the field.
I think his El Salvador game was much better than his Grenada game.
Yeah, I want to see more. I wish Booth would have got more time. I would have liked to see more of him. So that's why I just want to give him an I so he can just move on and do whatever. Not that he gives a fuck what I say. And then what else we got? We got left. Okay, I guess we're not doing the Grenada game because we already talked about it. So we won't go into players who just played the Grenada game. All right, so we're good. I think we're done.
I think that's everybody. Hudson, how do you do Hudson this window?
I
mean, this is the same debate that we had with Berhalter. I mean, do we blame Hudson for the players playing poorly?
No, because what Hudson did is say, here's more freedom, guys. Go out and prove it to the world. Go out and prove it. And they came out like a couple of stomped on testicles and played horribly. They did.
Sure.
Pulisic, the leader of the team, played horribly. And when everybody collectively playing so bad, and you're giving the players freedom to express themselves and not positionally locking them down, which he had to do a little bit more in the second half, right? He said, okay, let's switch things up. Let's, move things around and let's have you go here and you go here. There was more direction in the second half because he realized the freedom shit was not working in the first half. So we got a little tighter, but not much. It was still a free-for-all in that second half for the most part. I would still say I'm not going to give Hudson a bad grade for that because that's on the players. They played like crap. So I'm going to give him a B- to B.
Real quick, Mike H, we already did Turner.
Yeah, I think we gave him an A- or a B+.
Yeah, B+ A- range for us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As far as Hudson's concerned, I like the opportunity to play free after 4 years of static.
You know what? I'm giving him an A just for that. For that.
It was refreshing, and the players had the opportunity to be creative, and they failed against El Salvador for the most part.
Yeah.
A couple of brilliant moments here and there type thing, but Grenada obviously is. I understand, guys. I'm going to bounce between Grenada and Grenada. It is what it is. But I mean, obviously, for the reason why we succeed so well against them is they are who they are.
They suck.
Yeah. Leading into the game, we guessed both starting lineups wrong at parts. So Hudson went a little off the cusp there.
We only got 2 wrong in the second lineup, though.
Yeah.
And where we were wrong, we were right. Pepi should have started.
Pepi, that's what I was going to say. That's his big downfall here. Is just in my opinion is the player selections for the big game.
Yeah,
like I said, and I know you sort of disagreed because you're a bit jaded with Aronson as far as Leeds and everything. But
I am.
I would have absolutely started Aronson against Leeds. I would have started Aronson against El Salvador. I would have started.
I think Leeds would like Aronson to start against Leeds.
So I'm gonna give Hudson a B because again, I felt he did a lot of right stuff. And even though it didn't pan out in the El Salvador game to that point, he brought in the right players. He brought in Pepi. He brought in Luca De La Torre to help clean things up at the end of the game. He still pulled Zendejas out, so that was a good thing there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the tough thing for him is he's trying to move away from Berhalter in this super positional soccer. And I love that. Such a fucking breath of fresh air. Even if, they're going to be, since we just started doing it, right? There are going to be some games where guys just can't figure that shit out on their own. Mm-hmm. And they're going to need a little direction at halftime to say, all right, I know what you were thinking there, but Pulisic, get off Musa's fucking hip, motherfucker. Stop crowding Musa. Make a run, you dumb fucker. Musa's really good at possession, and if you make a run, he'll find you. But, if you stand right next to him, you're just going to move the guy that's covering him next to Musa. Now you're all clutter fucked up. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that conversation happened. And so
I would hope so. I mean, if we're noticing it, he's got to notice that shit.
Yeah. And it wasn't even for me. It wasn't even that Jedi was fucking that up at that point. It was Pulisic cutting in and causing a clutter with Musa. And it's sometimes Musa and Reina and him. They were standing 3 feet from each other. It's
the announcers, at least the TNT announcers, I don't know if you watched it on TNT or on Peacock again.
Yeah.
But they kept talking about El Salvador is doing such a great job keeping things narrow, and then our wings suck donkey ball, so that benefited them right too. But they can keep it narrow because our wings kept pinching in. Even Zendejas was pinching in.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to keep it narrow at that point because there's nobody out fucking wide.
Right.
But, we spent some time talking about Aronson and how you're jaded and stuff like that. And we talked about how Reina had a meh performance. But did you know that there are people out there who thinks that Aronson should have started over Reina?
Yes.
So I would hope so.
I was part of that conversation.
Yeah.
Agreed, but this is MUFC times T-dub.
Minnesota United. What?
Yeah. And he says, agree, but I'd rather play Aronson than Reina. Reina is a PR machine, not a footballer. And I don't have any problem with him saying he'd rather play Aronson over Reina. It because you could have that.
Yeah,
you could have that personal preference, but
your opinion can be wrong. But
making the point by saying the reason is because he's a PR machine and a bad one so far for himself.
PR,
for himself, and
PR
not a footballer. Well, that's just ridiculous. If you say he's not a footballer, then you are losing credit points right there.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, have you watched Dortmund? Because even when he's just been a 20-minute guy off the bench, he's scoring goals in flurries. Yes, then he has a drought where he doesn't play at all. And yes, has he had some poor games for Dortmund? Absolutely he has. But on the whole, since he got there 2 seasons ago, was it? He's been a really great player, especially when Holland and he were there and they had that chemistry together. Like, that was really fun to watch. And I do think that Reyna will turn out to be a world-class player. Our first absolute world-class player. And I may be wrong. Maybe he only turns out to be.
I think if he can manage to stay healthy, I think that'll absolutely aid in that. BMR, if you had bingo, send it my way on Twits.
I thought he meant we were right on all our comments.
That could be. Who knows?
So I told Mr. MUFC times P-Dub that I would be nice to him. I wouldn't be hard on him.
So, so Chris Gary pulls it up and goes, Aronson of Reyna? Seriously? And then he expands.
This tired of nepotism. Listen, Reyna isn't on this team because of nepotism. I just hate to inform you that.
Yeah, his dad.
There are plenty of. Listen, Berhalter's son isn't on this team. Both Wolf brothers aren't on this team. These are all insider guys. Reyna is on this team because he plays for fucking Dortmund in the goddamn German. They're at the top of the table in Germany. And he has scored numerous goals for him, a handful of goals, 4 or 5. I can't remember what it was. But he's a great player. He's a very seriously great player.
Diego, right? Your tweet is coming up next, so don't worry about that. And if we brought you on, it'd be another 50 minutes at least if we brought you on.
Yeah, we can't do it now, Diego. I'm running on fumes already. I'm sick of the nepotism too. I'm sick of the nepotism as well, my brother. But I think you're pinning it on the wrong kid. Is he bratty? Yes, he's got to grow up. And then he says, "Get serious and only bring footballers in." He is a footballer, dude. That's where you're wrong. Reyna is a false image. What? Who would be nobody if he wasn't American with U.S. soccer parents? You're totally, absolutely fucking wrong about that. Yet Dortmund do not sign players just because they're American and their daddy is Reyna. They could give a fuck. If that were the case, they would have signed fucking Berhalter's son. They would have signed the Wolf brothers. They would have signed all kinds. Believe me, there are lots of other kids of these former players that are out there. The Harks could have signed Hark's kid. That is not what is going on here at all. It is not nepotism. And that's why you're just wrong. And if you want to have other arguments why you don't like Reyna, that's fine. If you didn't like the way he played over this window, I'd say there are reasons where you could probably say you weren't impressed. Maybe him throwing up his hands and acting like a brat, because he can't do that. He needs to stop doing it. But anyhow, I'm done. I'm not going to torch this guy.
No roast needed. No. I mean, obviously, your opinion on Aronson compared to Reyna would be obvious for anybody who's listened to the show.
He's obviously not a Leeds fan. That's all I got to say. No, if he were a Leeds fan and watching Aronson play, he'd be fucking pulling his fucking cock hair out. Because I got to tell you,
he's not a Leeds fan. He's a United fan. Remember that?
I know
that conversation.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
United. What about Leeds?
We're the United, motherfucker. We're Leeds United. But yeah, I mean, if you were watching the way Aronson has battled through what I would call a major slump at Leeds, that's been going on for a few months now. I mean, there's no way he could be. He could say he'd rather have Aronson at CAM, because Aronson is not a creative center attacking midfielder. He does not create opportunities for others. And when he does, on the rare occasion, Bamford will miss it. So there you go.
That's a guarantee, Derek. It's a guarantee.
Yep. All right, that's all I got for tonight, guys.
No,
I've shot my wad.
We're not done yet. Calm your tits. We're not done.
My tits?
Yeah.
They're ready to go to bed.
All right, so Diego sent over this information. Things we learned from Orlando's camp. Tyler Adams' season is over.
Yeah.
He's he underwent some surgery and he is over for the rest of the season.
And I don't think necessarily with McKennie and Roca, the way they played together the last game, unless one of them get injured, which is very possible, then they're completely fucked. But right now, I think they can get by with those two guys together without Adams. But we'll see.
All right. Point 2, Balogun will be a U.S. men's national team player.
Well, that still sounds like a prediction, and it's a prediction I hope you're correct on, and you have connections to him. So 29, man, you better be right, man, because you're really tickling the testicles right now. You're really stimulating some people with that kind of commentary. So I hope you're right, brother.
Yep. To your conversation early on the show, if you guys were here around the 30-minute mark or 15-minute marker range, we talked about this, but Reyna and Pulisic's camps met to mend things and work on relationship.
He forgot to add, it's Reyna and Pulisic camps met to mend things today with a jar of KY and work on relationship.
Yeah, I was gonna say you started saying the exact same thing I did. I was like, what the hell's he going on with this, bro? I thought you were just gonna repeat the quote like he meant to say and then say the exact same thing. I was like, dude, what the hell?
What do they call? They call that crucial conversations with a jar of Vaseline.
Yeah.
Hopefully it happened and they smoothed it out. That's all I got to say.
Point 4, I think it's the most obvious one. AC Milan and Des will part ways. Yeah, AC Milan announced this like 3 months ago. Like, we're not taking his option.
It should say
it's too much money.
This line should say AC Milan in quotation or in parentheses, who fucking can't stand Serginho Dest, will part ways. That's what it should say.
Dest needs to find a mid-table team that's going to guarantee playing time at this point.
Yeah,
he needs to rebound his career, and he's getting bounced from Barcelona. He barely got time at AC Milan. Maybe the elite of the elites.
You know what?
To go back and just get more playing time again.
Based on that first half against El Salvador, can you see why a team who would start him sometimes during games and then saw a performance like that's equivalent to El Salvador, the El Salvador first half would be like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculously bad. So, yeah, he needs to find something more stable. Go ahead, Brent.
Point 5 is still no progress on sporting director and coaching hire. Yeah. Yet another no shit on that one because
yeah,
I feel like if the sporting director had any progress, they'd be like, look, we got one. Oh.
Yeah, we're hiring Herman Munster.
Yeah.
We fucking lined up Herman Munster. We're going to sign him a sporting director, and he's going to definitely pick Count Dracula as the new fucking manager of the United States.
We only play night games, though. We only play night games. No fireworks, no pyrotechnics, no nothing.
If they could announce that, they absolutely would, but they can't because they don't even have those clowns lined up for this. And I don't know what happened to Gooch because that seemed like Gooch said was wanting it. And then people were talking about it within U.S. circles. And then some motherfuckers like, not him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably one of those motherfuckers at Sportsology, who's like, well, there was that one problem he had on that CBS broadcast.
And he's where he threatened to strangle a girl or whatever it was.
He threatened to spank some woman live on CBS or whatever he said. But, I mean, come on.
I'm going to reach over this table or something like that.
And slap you.
And the saddest thing about that moment was that he actually came out and apologized. That's sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was clearly a joke. It was banter between pundits. It was fun. I bet you anything she wasn't offended by it.
I couldn't tell. but you're right, probably not.
Of course it was. No.
So who knows? I mean, Gooch was one of those names that was really big in likes, and the rest of the guys that are throwing themselves out there, like Thierry Henry, they're putting the cart before the horse. They shouldn't. They basically should almost just shut up until a sporting director's hired. Frankly, the video you made on it was recommended to me a few weeks ago.
About Gooch.
Which one?
About Gooch.
Oh, about the Gooch. Yeah. Are we done?
We didn't cover one thing from Balogun. I meant to pull this up, but we've got some quotes from Southgate.
Fuck it, save it for next show. Yeah, dude, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes. Who is going to click on this on YouTube and go, yeah, I'm going to sit down for 2 hours 2 hours and 45 minutes to watch a show.
You'd be surprised, Derek. Like I said, I watch people who are on air for. I've been over the course of the last couple of days. I've watched a live stream of it's 7.5 hours long. The people at EFAP do like 12-hour shows.
I would never watch anything that long.
So, and Chris Gary says, "Clip the show."
Yeah, that's an option. We've talked about it numerous times, but there's no way I could watch anything longer than 2 hours. A, I got other things to do, and mostly stroking it. But B, I've got other things in life.
You watch soccer all the time.
I watch soccer. Yeah,
That's
I got to watch
2 hours.
A lot of soccer.
I know. I'm just saying that you don't have to watch. You don't have to sit down like, well, I got 2 hours to spend. I might as well watch this entire podcast. No, you sit down, you watch 45 minutes, and you're like, hey, I'll stop it here. Maybe I'll come back later and watch it. Maybe I won't, but
it's like a series for you. But how far can you fall behind in a series like ours when it is very based on like immediate things that are happening in the soccer world? Like if you're watching like some Comatron or comic book thing that, it covers comic books over the last 100 years. Yeah, you could watch that whenever you want because that shit ain't changing and none of the news is like immediate. But here,
even on those
the news changes.
Even on those 7-hour live streams, let's just say, and they're few and far between. They're usually between 2 and 3. But that's not me saying like, oh, I'll watch one now and then I'll watch part of it now and then like a week from now maybe I'll sit down and watch it again, and a week from then I'll watch part of it again. No, it's usually like over the course of like 3 or 4 days, I'll sit and probably watch the vast majority, if not all of it.
Kind of like a long porn movie.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that first part was really good, but I'm done now, so I'll save part 2 for tomorrow.
Weinstein says Southgate is right.
Southgate's right about
the quotes.
Oh, Al, you got to come back for the next show because me and Southgate are going to go paw to paw. All right, Al, we do love you, brother, by the way.
All right. Quick 5-minute segment of lightning round for the Twitters because they spent their time tweeting shit.
2 games in, and how do you guys like the 4-2-3-1 with a fluid 3 constant? I fucking love it, Sean.
Yes.
Let's keep doing it.
Yes, 100%.
Fuck Greg's 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Up the asshole. Henry A. Wallace, but not the real one. The 2 biggest problems. 1, we need someone to push Jedi for the starting left back position, not just throwing a right back on the left.
I was going to say, Scally did a pretty damn good job against Grenada, but I
thought it was serviceable. Yeah. 2, we need to get to a point where when Pulisic is playing poorly, we have enough talent to trust to make something happen. We seem to be way too reliant. I agree.
Don't rely on Pulisic if he's playing like shit, basically.
Yeah, no. The thing is, why doesn't Pulisic rely more on the people around him? I guess when your first touch is such garbage, you can't, because then you can't even get them the ball because you've already lost it.
He can pull himself out wide with his man and open up space in the middle for everybody else to run through. Hell, Jedi doesn't have to hug that fucking sideline. He can cut more inside if he wants to run forward. But Pulisic can absolutely – I'm not saying he should. But Pulisic –
He's not going to do it.
No, but Pulisic can make the field wider. If he self-acknowledges the fact that he's having a shit game, pull yourself out of the equation.
He was having such a shit game, he should have been embarrassed. But when you're having such a shit game like that and you are embarrassed and you're supposed to be the leader of the team, typically what happens is you press harder, you try harder to make up for the fact you're having a shit game. And that's what he did all game long. And instead of going, I'm having a fucking shit game, why don't I just leave space for Jedi? That never occurred to him for a second. I can guarantee it.
Sure.
What else we got? Yeah.
All right. Alex Martinez.
Derek Brett, I did shrooms for the first time this weekend. I'm 33 years old. Can you all tell us about your tales first shrooms experience? I can. I don't think Brett's taking shrooms.
I had those stuffed portobellos at your parents' house.
I don't think those count, Brett.
Wrong shrooms, huh?
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic, so I stick to my poison, my vice.
So yeah, I mean, we had a clique of buddies that used to go out to a cabin in the woods. There'd be like fucking 30 gals and guys at this cabin, and there was an inch of space in this cabin during the night when we were sleeping that wasn't covered because there was way too many of us and not enough space in this cabin. But we had fun until like late night, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning. We go to bed when the lights started to come up. We had a big fire. We did painting in the woods because we were all on shrooms. And we were writing poetry and we were playing music. We had our acoustic guitar. I mean, it was like I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
I think it was all in your head.
No, dude. It was fucking great.
You guys lit a house on fire and you just around it the entire time.
The party ended on day 2 when we ran out of toilet paper. Then everybody's like, yeah, it's Sunday. Toilet paper's out.
There's a lot of leaves out there in the woods.
Yeah, I had to do one of those. I had to do it once. I was like, this ain't working real well these days.
my only outside of alcohol, my only experience ever was taking half of a gummy. That was all I've ever done.
Half of a what?
A gummy.
Oh, yeah.
I just sat down and watched TV, and I just felt like I was sinking into the couch. I just weighed I just felt like I weighed like 500 pounds.
The first time you can have a weird experience like that.
Oh, I didn't freak out or anything like that. I just felt like I was heavy.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have a weird physical. The first time I ever smoked a giant bowl of weed, because I didn't know you're supposed to take your finger off the little hole in the bong. And so I kept sucking and sucking, wondering when the fucking, when the hit was coming. And they were like, take your finger off the hole. And so I finally did. And I had the hugest hit ever. And for like the first 3 hours, I'm like, I can't feel my tongue.
Is this normal?
I feel like my tongue is, I'm swallowing my tongue. They're like, dude, there's nothing wrong with your tongue. You're just getting paranoid. So yeah, weird physical things can occur if you get really baked the very first time you do it. But I would recommend, if you're going to do that, you do it incrementally at first, just to kind of feel your way. I have romantic poetry on my card.
No way.
Just
really
waiting,
on the card?
Just waiting for Indy traffic report and it's bingo. Romantic poetry?
We do that frequently enough that it's on a card?
I don't think so. Romantic poetry? I don't think so. So yeah, shrooms are really good. You just have to do them around friends in an environment that you feel ultimately very comfortable with. And then you just have to, know the shrooms. Like, are they, you have to know how they're going to affect you.
Yep.
And whether
just like Into the Wild. Have you read the book or watched the movie?
It sounds so familiar.
It's based on a true story. The guy goes out to like the countryside of Alaska and like just living in a camper or whatever, and he's like starving, and he's looking at this mushroom, and he's like, "Is this one poisonous or not?" And he's looking at his book, and he's like, "I think it's fine." And he takes it, and he ends up dying. He like dies in his like a chair on top of his camper, man. He's like,
I don't think it was on top of the camper. He actually dies inside of a bus in the back seat.
Oh, I thought he was on the chair in the camper.
He dies and he wrote a diary for days as he was dying. So it's even more depressing than that. But no, when I say know your shrooms, know how strong they are, so you don't take too many because that can freak you out. I was very disappointed in Pulisic's performance yesterday. Set pieces were awful. Shit, we already know all this. I'm not thrilled with Captain America right now. Piss poor performance after that stupid interview. I'm being harsh, but after that ill-advised interview, he needed to be the best player yesterday. He's a good leader. If he would stop taking set pieces. I'm not there, so I can't say, but it's like he believes it's his team. Oh, he definitely believes that. And he needs to be the hero. He has had that problem. We have called him out for hero ball on the norm, and we thought that would be over, but it did not end. Lastly, disband leadership council. I'm sick of Pulisic's friends getting call-ups despite being garbage. I don't know which ones you're talking about, but
his friends would be like Haji Wright and Zendejas.
Haji Wright's not getting called up anytime soon. Yeah, that's not. I'm still a huge Pulisic fan, but he's our best attacker, but he has some limitations. Most of them upstairs, I think, Chris. And he should be really shut the fuck up when talking to the media. He said too much in regards to Chelsea in the last, and now with the U.S. men's national team. Don't listen to Daddy. Well, that would go along with what 29 is saying. Absolutely. That he is doing Daddy's bidding and saying what Daddy wants him to say. So we need Scott McKenna from Nottingham Forest to switch to the U.S. so we can melt Derek's mind by having McKenny, McKenzie, and McKenna. I'd be broken if that happened.
And I couldn't even keep up with it at that point. I'm like McKenny. Oh, you mean McKenna? Oh, no, I don't even know.
Where are all these Scottish motherfuckers coming from? All right, I think El Salvador is well-coached team with a good pro at each starting position. They know their roles and tactics, execute them well, but they are not deep. No, they're not. So that match became much less even when they tired, and we took advantage. We did what we had to do to win. We did win. We did. Very disappointed the way we won. Very happy for Pepi, and very lots of applause to him for what he came in and did. The rest of the guys, outside of McKenny and the few other guys we gave good grades
Pepi,
to.
And then the back line, or the center back and goalkeepers, yeah.
Good to see the guys play with KY. We might need more of that.
Hold on. What's the name?
Finisher on her back. Finisher on her back. Yeah. Finisher on her back. Good God. I have so many questions. Prepare to get your garden growing. Coyote urine. Yeah, I hear that's good.
A lot of nitrogen. Yeah.
Yep.
And it'll probably keep a lot of the pests like your rabbits and shit away.
Oh, for fuck yeah.
Yeah. Smell coyote.
All those critters. Yeah, they'd be like, fuck, get out of here, dude. Coyote pissed on this shit. This is coyote territory. All right, I think I finished all of Monty Python series before I got through this live stream. Good God.
Brett, we got a couple more to go here.
All right. It was a poor first half performance by multiple players. Pulisic was the key because we like to play through him, and he couldn't get it going. Yeah, he was soft as a sack. He is the central cog of this team, and that cog needed to go back to the machine shop. Oh, look at him doing all these metaphors like me. Perez wasn't going to let us have it easy either. No, Perez was going to keep that shit unlubricated, and that's what he did.
All right, Derek. We're done.
2 hours, 24 minutes. Still is not as long as the show with Meg.
Or 29, for that matter.
Yes. So this will probably come in third, though, would be my guess, right?
How do you milk a coyote's urine? What's the famous quote from what's a bowling movie called? I can't think what it is with Dennis Quaid's brother.
Randy,
yeah.
How do I know this?
Yeah. How many of them are there? But he's like, Woody Harrelson's in it, and he's trying to get him to go bowling, to become a professional bowler. Kingpin, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he's out there with the Amish where Randy Quaid's at, and he's like, oh yeah, I took the liberty to go ahead and milk your cow. And he takes a big swig of it, and he goes, we don't have a cow, we have a bull.
I don't know how they do that with coyotes, but I imagine it just requires giving them lots of water to drink and then having them sit in.
They're in a contraction, just like weighing out and everything, and just catch it all, I guess.
No, I mean you make them live in a giant kids pool, and they'll just pee in it, and then you just collect it, right? All right, that's it for tonight, folks. It was a long one. That's what she said.
Uh-oh.
And
breaking news.
Oh, for Christ's sake, you cannot be 29. Diego, you had us, man.
Brett's like graduating from college before the stream finishes.
I'm gonna piss my pants. Maybe shitting them too if we don't get off here soon enough. All right, guys, we love you. We really do. Thank you for being here, supporting us. Everything's been going great, a lot better. And we'll continue to, I think we'll be back, right? We're going to be back Thursday, right? We're just going to have to like pull a show out of our assholes for that one.
We can do that. That's no problem. I'll definitely try to break some of this up and get some more of the recorded videos out because they've been doing great for us. Anyhow,
we'll be able to pull a show out of our assholes because we're both
asshole herd. Yeah.
Well, yeah. We're all lubed up. So until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma and any other relatives. And for God's sake, take a bath at least once a year. We'll see you soon.
You're gonna do her.